Man.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. I don't know why YouTube keeps doing that. Like I schedule streams, I click on the stream that I scheduled, and then they just make a new one. What's going on here, guys? But anyway, hello everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the Slice of Shonen Podcast. I am your host on the boat, Sailor, and hopefully, you know, I've tried to play with my mic a little bit. I've backed it away from my face. Before, I used to have to be right on my mic, but now I've backed it away a good bit. I've turned down the sensitivity because, I don't know. I mean, for like 3 years, I've had that set up, and now it's not good anymore. Oh, well. We roll with the punches. It's okay. But anyway, we got chapters. We got some really good ones. And a chapter.
Really, do we? I wasn't aware.
We got some good ones, and we got a chapter, man. But of course, it is not just me on this lovely podcast. Let me introduce you guys to the rest of the Ensemble of Excellence. We have the Silver. We have the me. Hey, how's it going? We have the Sky Cadet 13. We have the Cookin' Taco, and of course, the Zenith Annie Manga, whose channel and Patreon are linked down below. Make sure you guys go check those out and support him. We'd really appreciate it. Also, even though he's not here with us today, he's busy. Down there in the description is also Adam, aka Jigga's YouTube channel, so you should go check that out and support that as well. Really cool. But Is there any housekeeping rules you guys want to go over before we get started? I know I have one. Anything you want to, like, updates you want to give people? Anything like that?
I just want everyone to know that you all can rest easy. Nue's Exorcist is back to being mid.
Let's go!
No, I don't have to care.
It's okay now. The action stopped and we're back to being kind of boring.
Let's go, bro.
It's all, everything is right with the world. Do not, if you had bought a box set, you can cancel that order. Because this shit is back to being a smooth alright.
Just knock that shit down, brother.
Rest easy.
Hey, man. Thank God. The streets were really wondering. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Is there anyone else? Because, like I said, I have something. I guess it's kind of serious, but like it's not that serious. But
I mean, fucking end the suspense, man. What is it? Like...
Oh, I was just gonna say, because somebody was I got a dumbass comment last week. I won't get too deep into it, just because I was planning on going on a whole rant about it because it was so ridiculous. And I was like, that's not what this podcast is about. So all I will say is that, because basically to leave out all the insults that were thrown my way by this person, I, you know, funnily enough, named Sailor, I got the mouth of a sailor, so I curse a lot. If that is bothering anybody, if you don't like me cursing that much, if it gets in the way of your experience of the podcast, that's okay. Just say it. You can just say, hey, Sailor, I'm not comfortable with this. And I can go, oh, damn. I didn't even notice that was a sense of discomfort. I'll fix that for you. No problem. It's no problem. Because I've said it before in the community, at least that I have here on my side of the internet. While we may not agree on everything, we can still be respectful about it, you know? You don't have to go in my comment section, insult me, and make assumptions about who I am, and then get mad that when I, you know, respond to your critique, tell me that I can't take criticism while you're crashing the fuck out in the comment sections. You know, it was very weird, you know, to just think that someone they thought I was like afraid of like looking bad on the internet in a moment. It was very strange, kind of laughable, and also disappointing. But like, again, all you have to say, because truly I don't mind at all. If anything is getting in the way of your podcast experience, whether it's me or anybody else, you know, we can always talk about it. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? is just kind of funny how that whole situation worked out. But yeah, of course, like I said, let me know if there's any issues with it, and I can change it from there. So that's really all it was. I was like pacing around my room. I was like, damn, I'm about to cook this nigga. And then I was like, you know what? Never mind. That's not what this podcast is about. Overall, I just want the message, my overall message, to be heard about this sort of topic. If there's anything in the way, just let me know. It's not a problem. You can disagree and be respectful, and then I can take that criticism and I can build on that criticism, and we can make this a better podcast for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, that's like crazy, because I'm pretty sure I swear like more than you on here, and like I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
bro,
gonna keep swearing too. Sorry, everyone.
It was literally, it wasn't even that I was just cursing a lot. It was just like, you say nigga a lot. And I was like, that's true. He was just like, you say nigga a lot. It makes you sound childish and immature and less authentic. And I was like, what? Like, what? And then I critiqued his critique, and he was like, you can't take criticism, as he's like lashing out and saying like, I'm blacker than you. It's like,
Bro graded your essay.
I was like, okay. And it was a whole back and forth. Thankfully, YouTube just, I guess, got rid of the comments. He thought I deleted him, which, like, brother, I do not care that much. Like, I'm sorry. I've been pressed in real life by people. I've gotten into fights. I've punched people in the face. I've gotten punched in the face. I've broken up fights. I've gotten to all sorts of altercations. Someone has threatened my life before. And motherfucker, you think I'm pressed about looking wrong in a comment section? Come on, bro. Like, come on, brother. Come on, man. Like, I get it. You know, sometimes comments annoy me. I think that's only a natural response. You know, it's never fun to see people insulting you or criticizing your work and things like that. But, like, you think I'm scared of it? And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make myself come across as tough. I am a nerdy homebody ass nigga, and I'm proud of it. That's what I like to, hey, staying out the way. That's what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't know me, man. You don't know the experiences that I've gone through. You don't know the people that I've hung out with. You don't know the people that I've lost. You don't know the family that I got. Like, come on, bro. You don't know me. So don't make assumptions about me, because I don't like making assumptions about people. So that's why I said just bringing it back around, bringing it around town, SpongeBob style, my goat. Just be respectful, man. We can always disagree, and that's okay. But just be respectful, and you can offer your critique, because I've seen a ton of people in my AOT video offer me critiques, and even though I may not agree, I'm thankful, because those are actual critiques. It's not just insults. So, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, you know, it's all good, man. I mean, that dude said he was going to leave anyway, so salute, good fucking riddance. But anyway, I'm just happy I got y'all, both my people here in the podcast, and all y'all out there in chat. I'm happy I got y'all. We don't need that negative, corny energy. And we can keep talking about the positive stuff. But yeah, man, I figure that'll be a good talking point, or a good springboard point to jump off into the actual podcast, because we're going to start with positivity. I don't know if that's going to stay throughout the entire show.
I was about to say, but, wait a minute. Positivity, wait a minute.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, let's start with One Piece chapter 1126. How did you guys feel about this chapter, man?
He's good.
It was very good.
I thought that this chapter couldn't take criticism, and was childish. And I
noticed they said honestly, nigga a bunch here too.
Yeah, they said the word One Piece too often. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I saw Blackbeard too much. I was like, oh, they saying the N-word? Whoa.
I was like, oh my gosh, Zoro.
Oh my gosh, Zoro? Hey, man.
I would have never expected. Well, that's not true.
That's why he's lost, bro. He heard nigga too many times and said, hold on, Luffy. I gotta go. I gotta go, brudda. But yeah, man, this chapter was really, really good. I am shocked that this was not a break week chapter, to be honest. This was a really good one to send us on our way if it was. So let me go back here. Let me pull up the chapter here on my tablito. We got, the crew hanging out, smiling again. They are drinking some strong ass alcohol. I don't I don't know too much about drinking, just because, all I drink is like water and juice and sometimes root beer, mainly water though. But as soon as I saw absinthe, I was like, that don't even sound right. Like that shit sounds like poison, bro. What the fuck is absinthe?
Dude, there's entire bars around absinthe. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing.
Oh,
very much a real drink.
I don't doubt it's a real thing, but like that sounds like kill you juice. Like is it smart to drink that?
As smart as it is to drink anything.
Yeah.
Which is to say no.
All right. All right. Fair point.
Not really. Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah. So they end up drinking the fucking the absinthe known as Green Fairy. At least the drink itself sounds pretty. But it can make you hallucinate, which may play into the rest of the chapter here. We got to see Bonnie, Kuma hanging out a little bit. Very sweet, man. They finally get to head out and explore the seas together. Really sweet moment there. It's small, but I really liked it. I guess the big talking point is here on page 5 with Shanks and Bartolomeo meeting. How did you guys feel about this whole altercation, man?
Bro, he's so stupid.
I don't even know what the fuck bullets Yasop got in that fucking gun, dude.
Bro, Yasop's bullets or Hakoku's sovereignty? Which one's stronger, apparently? Because Jesus fuck. Like,
it's funny. I found out, I do not see, by the way, when I go on Twitter, I don't see any leaks for One Piece, like, at all, except this one time it was an agenda post where it's what's the dude's name, the sniper on the Blackbeard?
Van Augur, yeah.
Van Augur, and it's like, it's the video of him unable to, like, I think it was Beppo using a rock as a shield against his bullets,
which is crazy.
And it was just like that above the panel of Yasop blowing up the ship. It was just an agenda post.
Bro, Van Augur was blowing up fucking biscuit soldiers back in Whole Cake, bro. That rock was putting in work. That rock was sturdy as that. That rock was stronger than Gear 4 Luffy. Yo, that's so funny. That rock was sturdy, brother. Holy. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Yasop, man. If Yasop could just do this.
Do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why, but like, damn, like, just the thought of just like, all right, just give me one shot, boom, just blow it up. Nah, that's kind of OD. So Shanks catches up to Bartolomeo, and I did not think that we would actually see this in the manga. I thought this would continue in like a cover story at some point, but no, Shanks just pulls up on him. Barrier fruit did not work. Barrier fruit did not work, ladies and gentlemen. Shanks just probably cut right through it.
What devil fruit can stand up to the hockey man himself?
Be honest.
That is bullshit said by those with agenda.
We'll be honest. I saw this happening like from the very moment he.
Oh yeah, same.
Oh yeah.
I knew Shanks was gonna fuck him up. Like
Shanks had to.
Oh yeah, there was no debate about that.
There were some people who were like, "Oh, he's gonna show him mercy because it's Luffy's crewmate." Yada yada. Nah,
he did.
It
makes sense why he did.
Here's the
like,
Yasop's
literally laid it out right there.
told to do that.
No, but Shanks is like that was.
Hey, Shanks moved out of the way.
Shanks could have stopped them 100%.
Yeah, Shanks moved out of the way.
Yeah, if Shanks is just like Yasop chill, like he wouldn't have did it. But
Obviously, they're all okay. It goes
No,
to
they're
the
not dead at all.
I think
Yeah.
Bardo
Oh,
is
no,
probably the only one who survived.
No, they're all fine.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're all going to be
They're all
fine.
fine.
But I mean, it makes sense why he had to do it. Because, like, he literally laid up to the point of the poison, everything he said was straight fact. Fact is, like, if he cannot, right now in these turbulent times, he cannot appear as weak, especially to those that are under his flag of protection.
These turbulent
And he had to make a point.
What the hell?
Oh, you know I'm. People use that word. Shut up.
Nigga sounded like a politician. I respect it.
Well, this is what I was gonna say.
I was getting different. It is
Steinbeck, you fucking these turbulent times.
it is an effective
It is.
word.
This all makes
Yes,
sense,
thank you.
but I'm going to be completely honest. Feels like a bit of an overreaction.
A little bit.
Nah, man.
No, listen. I get it. He burned his flag. As far as pirates go, that's super disrespectful. That's like spitting on his dignity. But Bartolomeo didn't hurt anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he didn't, like, beat up... Like, he didn't do anything. It's not like he burned the town down. He just showed up and basically tried to scam them, because he was trying to sell them a bunch of, like, Straw Hat merchandise. And they were like, we don't want to buy it because we're under Shanks' flag. And he was like, man, fuck Shanks. And then he burned the flag. I think the ass kicking would have been enough. I don't think you had to blow up their ship.
Nah,
No,
bro.
he did.
Blowing
He had
up
to make
the
that point.
blowing up the ship, it's less messy because he's like, well, I don't want to get your blood out on the street. Like, that's doing too much. So we're just gonna take you out to sea. We gonna let you do your thing. Then we're gonna shoot you down. Town's clean, clean execution. No, you know.
I just
Here's
want
the
to point
thing.
out that Shanks was more harsh on Bartolomeo and the crew for burning down his flag than the world government was with Luffy for burning down their flag.
World government
you know.
frauds? Question mark? Question mark frauds?
Just say maybe
That's
Shanks
how
was
it
the
is.
asshole.
hasn't it?
Well, I want to go back to what Sailor said, because I'm going to keep it real, bro. I think the blood is already on the streets. He's bleeding quite heavily.
Yeah, but it's not as much blood, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be more.
I think one thing to note, jokes aside, right, is that Shanks is a character that we don't know. You know? Like, we don't really know what he's about. He has moments where he'll stand on business and do something cool. But as far as, like, his full beliefs, motivations, goals, all that shit, we don't really know him that well. So, I mean, he could just do shit like this and like, yeah, I guess so. That's Shanks.
Makes sense. True. Yeah, man. I mean, like, I definitely think it was kind of nuts. But yeah, I can understand Shanks, like, them taking this measure, especially now where it's like, you can't just walk around and act like you own the place. You have to walk it. You're walking through my territory. That's fine. You can't be disturbing the peace, because what does it look like if you just burn my flag and then I don't do anything about it? You know, like, even if you're not hurting people, like, the fact that I just, like, yeah, sure, you can just do whatever you want. Fuck it. Who cares? Like, these people's lives are in my hands. Because what if something does happen? And now they're going to come back to me. Now they can't trust me. Now now I look bad. Nah, brother. You got to go. You got to go.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
from the, like, little bit we do know about Shanks, I think Shanks is a good person. Because there's a lot of people who think Shanks might be evil or shady. Yeah. I think Shanks is a good person.
I agree.
But the thing with Shanks is he takes being a pirate very seriously. This shit's not a game to him.
Be ready to die behind this shit. It's like that young boy meme.
It's the first thing he taught Luffy. Like, that's like what he told Luffy. He's like, you're a kid. I'm not taking you on my ship. Like, this shit's serious. And even though Bartolomeo, what he did really wasn't that bad, if we're being completely honest. Bartolomeo, even though Luffy did not choose to drink from the Sun's cups and, like, form the pact with him, with, you know, his underlings, they are still a part of his fleet. They are still connected. They're friends.
Mm-hmm.
So what Bartolomeo did is essentially an act of war from one Yonko to another. He went into another Yonko's territory and burned their flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and realistically, Shanks is being pretty lenient.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, like,
Like, if this were literally any of the other emperors, he would be dead. Like, without a single doubt in my mind. And
One of the
he and his
emperors
emperor would have
is
been wiped off the
fucking
map.
buggy. He'd be fine.
Hey man, Mihawk is there.
Mm.
Buggy's subordinate, his right hand man, Crocodile.
Type shit. Type shit.
But I think it's one of those things where Luffy and Shanks, they still like each other. They have a lot of respect for each other. But I think they are like, when it's time to like fight, they're gonna fight. Like they're gonna go all out against each other. They're not gonna hold back just because they have history or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see it. I'm not really sure because Oda made it like he made it. I think because we knew Shanks was going to where Bartolomeo was, like for a while now, but I think he specifically showed us this right here, right now, just to kind of further enforce, like, yeah, Shanks isn't on Elbaf. Their meeting is not happening anytime soon.
Fuck.
Like it's not going to happen like for quite a while.
God, man.
It's a bit of a shame, too, because I actually was liking the whole Davy back theory we had a while back. I thought it would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see them meet up. I think it's like overdue. Like I mean, Luffy's a Yonko now. He certainly meets the requirements of a great pirate. I think he's held up his end of the promise. It is time for them to meet.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, on the other hand,
damn,
and even though
Yonko's coming to Elbaf, I better get my ass out of here.
I mean, okay, well, we
real
say all of that,
Yonko.
but I mean, I think it's more a matter of like how Luffy views it, because like maybe he doesn't view himself as a great pirate just yet until he actually gets the One Piece and becomes Pirate King. I can definitely see that being the case then. And I feel like even though they didn't specify Pirate King, I think the implication is they are on both ends, like for both Shanks and Luffy, that is.
That's fucked up.
It is. It's for us, yes,
Man,
but that's how they did it.
Up. Like, when can I see you again? When you're Pirate King? Well, alright then. Just say you don't want to fucking see me again. Just say you don't want to hang out, bro.
He did say, Luffy did say in
God,
Romance
Pirate
Dawn
King.
that he was like, I'm gonna raise a better pirate crew than you, and like, what pirate crew is better than the Yonko? That's the Pirate King's crew.
That's
so
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could be that.
I think that is all valid. I think that is true.
True.
It would make more sense for their promise if Luffy doesn't see Shanks until he's already become the Pirate King. Because he specifically, a part of his goal, it wasn't just to find the One Piece, it was to surpass Shanks and his crew.
Yeah.
So that makes sense from his dream standpoint, or their like promise standpoint. But I'm gonna keep it real. It would be way lamer if Luffy, by the time Luffy meets Shanks, he's already Pirate King.
I agree. I can agree.
I think it would be significantly cooler when they meet if they're on equal level.
Yeah,
They're both
man.
Yonko. They both have Yonko crews, and then seeing them come to blows, seeing them fight. If we don't get Luffy versus Shanks, like it doesn't have to be like a full fucking 30
Like a
chapter
clash
fight.
or something.
If we don't get any Luffy versus Shanks anything in the entire story, I feel like that's like a little disappointing.
I can agree.
Funny. It's really funny to think about the possibility that part of the reason behind Shanks versus Kid is to like give this idea of like, nah, Shanks is like, he's really strong, you know, like Luffy might not be able to beat him because, you know, Shanks beat Kid. And that's something we're supposed to be impressed by.
To be fair, he humiliated.
He did humiliate that nigga, I will say. But yeah.
Oh yes, like everyone else
Saying-
hasn't done that already. Bro, what the
Saying
fuck?
that's true. Saying that like, oh man, he beat up a nigga who was gassed up to be on the similar tier to Luffy after Wano. Yeah, okay.
No, fucking the only Yonko that haven't embarrassed Kid are the ones that are dead. But Kid is lucky that Whitebeard was dead by the time he came around.
Whitebeard
I
would have
think-
cooked that nigga, bro.
All this
yeah.
really did was make Big Mom look like a bum as a Yonko. Because what do you mean the difference is that huge? What the fuck?
Nah.
I mean, that fight was just Law, really. that was
Law was
majority
a support
Law.
character in that.
Kid-
And
Damn,
he
it
was
from
doing most
Kid.
of the work.
Kid was he was taking a lot of blows, and then he pulled out that damn punk. So I'll give him his credit for that. You know, it was a 2v1. They did get it done though.
I think it was Frankie when he hit her in the face with the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like,
Did the most damage. Did the most damage.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, it's one of those things though where, because people point this out all the time, and it is technically true. They didn't beat Big Mom. She was still completely conscious.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Like-
just circumstantial W.
She fell into a pit and like bombs blew her up. Like, I technically never knocked her out. Whereas like Luffy knocked Kaido clean out.
Yes.
He was asleep.
My goat.
But like, yeah, Kid and Law technically never did like.
Like,
No,
Man,
Big Mom
Man,
fell.
Wano sucks.
Big Mom
Yeah.
fell.
Close.
Big Mom fell to where she was. Luffy punched Kaido down to where he was. Like, they ended up in the same place, but not in the same manner type shit.
Yeah, no.
But they did not end up in the same plane.
They both ended up in the lava pit, yeah.
No, but like plate, like emotionally speaking.
Okay. True. But yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. That all makes perfect sense. And it's not like Oda. I don't think it's like Oda didn't make it seem like Law and Kid are on the same tier as Luffy just because they have the same bounty. But Kid and Luffy,
I think they did.
Kid and Law. No, he didn't. It was
I think
Do you
no,
think-
because I think that was the point for the government to not, like, it was all a thing from the government. Like, that was the whole
Yes.
point. I don't think
Yes.
Oda did it to make them seem like they were the same tier. I think it was because of the government.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
The government made it seem like they're on equal tier. Oda never did. For us as the readers, for us as the audience, we've always known that there's a significant gap between Luffy and Kid and Law. And to reinforce that idea, what happened immediately after Wano? Kid and Law both fought real Yonko and died.
Got embarrassed, bro.
Oh,
And
I
what
completely
did Luffy
forgot
do?
about Law. Yeah.
And what did Luffy do? He fought the government and he won. So
Yeah.
it's like, I think the government's perspective, they tried to make it seem like it was more equal in terms of like how Wano went down, and that's why their bounties are the same. But Oda has always made it very clear that there is a big gap between those two.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, man. That was oh go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was just thinking about it more. Where it's just like, oh man, I just finished Wano. I don't want people to think that characters other than Luffy are too cool.
Bro, what are you talking about? Kobe is right there.
That Honesty
Kobe,
Impact
the guy
went
who
crazy.
got captured and did nothing.
Gee.
Bro, Honesty
What do you mean
Impact?
he got capped? Bro, he gave himself up to save
You're right.
Rob.
You're right.
Mm.
I'm sorry. He surrendered and then did nothing. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Niggas.
we don't know who would have won in the fight between him and Blackbeard because they didn't fight. I'm just
Was there something special about the ball and chain that Kobe had?
No,
No.
he's literally carrying it and running around. It's a
Alright.
gag.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
It's a gag.
Well, I was just like, oh, was he weakened because it's Sea Stone? And it's like, he doesn't have a.
He doesn't have double fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I mean, okay, look, I wouldn't,
What if he does, then we
even if it
don't
were
know.
Sea Stone, even if it wouldn't affect him because he doesn't have a Delph fruit, it's still like the hardest material on Earth. So I could definitely see them using it for that at least.
Fucking care.
Well, here's the thing. No, because
Okay.
Sea
I
Stone
know,
is
I know.
virtually indestructible. But
No, I know, I gotcha.
well, the point is that it's not heavy. He can still
Yeah, it's not
carry it.
heavy. The Smoker has
Yeah,
a sword made out of it.
So it's like the ball and chain is just a visual gag.
It's just
That's
a visual
the
gag,
part.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like he has him captured, but he doesn't because he's literally carrying it and running.
That's so unfortunate. I wanted this nigga to start fighting like Jacko.
Yeah. The Elysium driver.
One of
Oh,
my-
Elysium driver to Blackbeard.
Speaking of visual gags, one of my favorite things in this chapter. I love this so much. I love that Pizarro's island face has bandages on it.
It does, huh? Yeah.
He gets fucking ass kicked. They had to bandage him up.
That is funny, actually.
Bro, I'm cooked.
Them giant ass bandages.
They made a like, I get having giant bandaging, whatever, you got a giant guy. They just made a big band-aid for under his eye. Like,
They had to, bro. Hey, make sure he's all patched up.
Where did they get those?
You
Bro,
know.
they made them
Elbaf.
especially for him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
They have
Blackbeard.
a trade agreement with Elbaf.
There's a bandage craftsman that made bank on that commission.
Yeah, bro.
Like some real mad
Okay,
cash.
like genuinely though, because Blackbeard takes twice the damage, yo, his doctor is making money. His doctor is making money. Yeah.
You
You mean Doc you?
Do you guys think
Yeah.
he has like a second actual doctor, since his other doctor is like kind of obsessed with making people sick?
Killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the dude who works for,
I mean,
for Michael
maybe.
Jackson. Then he has a real doctor.
No. Shout out
Wanna-
to fucking I love this username by the way. Shout out to Nasty Nutter for the 99 cents.
Now, what
That
the
is
hell, bro?
crazy, bro.
That's insane.
That's
Well, I
hey,
know
don't
you're a
disrespect.
sailor.
Hey man,
That's
don't
a
disrespect
Sailor
him.
fan if ever I've heard.
Hey, us Gooners, we gotta stick together, man. I get it. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
it.
you'll stick together, all right? Whether you want to.
One of the things I can't really put it into words because Oda doesn't take things super seriously with a lot of characters. Like he's very willing to let characters look ridiculous. There are very few characters that are like in the protected class, like Mihawk, Shanks, Zoro. Like they never really get to look ridiculous. But one of the things I really love about the Blackbeard Pirates, I love it so much, is they're like hyped up to be these really like big antagonists. Like they are some of the final antagonists in the story, and they have like some like really cold lines, like when Saturn was talking to Van Augur and Katarina Devon, where he's like, "What? You like your captain is always up to some weird sneaky shit. What the fuck do you guys want?" And Van Augur's just the
world. Oh my
It's like-
god.
It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck does that mean, Van Augur? Like, what are you talking about? And it's like they're hyped up to be these really like powerful, important antagonists, but they're just a bunch of fucking idiots. They suck. They get their asses kicked all the fucking
All
time.
the time.
Can you
man.
imagine? Can you imagine any other shonen where the main villains get hyped up for hundreds of chapters and they lose consistently every time they show up?
Wow.
They
Bro,
get their asses kicked all the time, dude.
It's legitimately hilarious to me how when Shiryu, who is, fucking Blackbeard's second in command, when he first met his captain, it was right after he got his ass demolished and
He
was
saved him.
dying. Yeah, he
Yeah,
saved
he was
him.
literally gonna die if he didn't save him.
bro was getting
Yeah.
cooked and
Hey,
he
man.
was just like, you wanna join my crew? Sure, man. Sure, cool.
He didn't get a chance to flex his off-screen hockey.
Dude,
Bro.
Aokiji instantly froze all of them. Like in an instant, he took out all of them. Blackbeard was the only one that didn't get frozen.
Bro,
Man,
I
it
love Blackbeard glazing Aokiji in this chapter. This nigga is so disgusting, bro. He's getting on Pizarro like, how could you let this happen? What's wrong with you? And then he's like, well, Kuzan, let me know the news. Well, we captured Garp. Woo! I meant to kill him though. Hey man, it's okay. You so smart and handsome and tall and powerful. It's okay, man. You got it. Well, it was a group effort. Nah, I think it was just you, bro. Like, bro, what are you up to, man? He is trying to brown nose the fuck out of Aokiji. He's like, please don't betray me, bro. Please don't betray me. Please. It's nice over here, man. Please don't do this shit.
Me and the ex-admiral I got by being complimentary.
Genuinely, bro. Him just being like, Pizarro, you fuck up. What's wrong with you? Hi, Aokiji. Genuinely, bro. Hi, Kevin. This is genuinely Blackbeard right now, man. Like, damn. That was funny, though. He's got his fucking foot on Pizarro's tooth, bro. I'd crash out. I'd be so pissed.
I chained up like that one fucking that one Aaron figure.
No, God, don't compare him to ass, bro. Don't compare him to ass. Garp is cool.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. I'll think of another bondage figure.
Instead of talking about that ass, we can talk about San Juan Wolf blowing stuff over with his butt. He broke a building with his butt.
Over, bro.
Yeah. That's just a really funny visual of him putting buildings back together. Just like,
yeah, no, I thought that was funny too.
Yeah.
I like that. Like the one dude's just like, oh, a little more to the left, while the other one's like, you're breaking it.
You're fucking it up. Stop it.
Not a little to the left, a little to the left.
Laugh.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
One thing I really liked in the TCB translation is when Pizarro's picking up the ship, and Caribou, in the official, he's just like, oh, we're in trouble or whatever. In the TCB translation, he's like, oh, hell no.
He's like, yeah, that's what I was like, oh, hell no.
Monster, bro.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's like, what the fuck? I'm not going over here. Come on. Nah, man. That was funny too. I wish they kept that. This spread of the Blackbeard pirates though is so nice. I love this spread a lot. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing them all like sitting.
Yeah, I feel bad for Puddin' though. We gotta get you out of there, sweetie. God damn, we gotta get you out of there. Big Mom coming back? Question mark.
Bro, I know that room's gotta smell like straight ass, bro.
It must smell so bad.
Bro, I feel awful for her. Yeah, that shit's gotta be fucking bad.
That shit gotta smell like spoiled milk, onions, and ass cheeks, bro. I know that shit smells disgusting.
Do you guys think Aokiji smells bad?
No.
No.
He's
No.
He's the only one there that smells good.
Yeah, he doesn't sweat. He's too cold for that.
Yeah, he doesn't sweat.
That's so
You
true.
know it.
Actually, what the
He's the king of sweat scaling.
Oh,
Shut up. Shut up.
that's so true. No, that just means the one time someone does make him sweat, it's gonna be fucking crazy. It's like, oh, this is wrong.
True. Yeah. He's gonna see I don't know, Sanji and be like, oh man.
Bro, the hell's a flame? What else would melt ice?
Yeah. He's gonna see Brooke and be like, that's real cold.
yes, he is.
He's gonna be sweating. Yeah, he's gonna be sweating.
Bro, yeah,
You know-
I also want Brooke to do something.
I didn't like agendas. Then somebody had one that agreed with me, and I thought they were pretty cool.
Sky,
It is how shit works.
I don't have anything else to say about the chapter after this. We can move on. Oh wait, the ending. The ending. I think.
Yeah, right.
I was about to say, you don't want to talk about Ty's Lego house for Nami?
I think I saw a theory. I did not come up with this. I stole it. So someone basically said that it's caused by Loki,
Yeah.
and people are theorizing that Loki is going to fall in love with Nami and like want to marry her. Because he fell in love with Lola before, so he doesn't like giant women for whatever reason.
It wouldn't be the first time Nami's almost been married off.
That's true.
True.
This time,
But then
Usopp's
again,
gonna save
considering
him.
considering that Lola was a woman he fell in love with, as I think we can probably assume he has a certain type.
You
told
also
you he
have
likes
to
them
remember, wasn't fucking Absalom? No, because he didn't want to. He wanted to marry Nami the whole time. Never mind.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Lola's zombie wanted to marry Absalom.
Yeah, that one. I just hit my mic. I'm sorry. But then again, like, but nah, cause Elbaf gotta have some baddies there too. Elbaf's gotta have some baddies there too. So nah. I mean, Nami, if he does want to marry you, they got it. If they don't, I'm pissed. But Nami,
why are we even going there?
if he wants to marry you, you got to get out of there, dog. That nigga is gonna break you in half.
I think Elbaf is gonna be.
Bro, if
We don't know enough genuinely, like, we don't know enough for me to give any solid guesses. But I think Elbaf might be kind of the first like really unique arc we've had in a long time. Because I think the main antagonist might be a character that we just don't know.
I can agree with that.
That hasn't been the case since like Punk Hazard. Because like we went to Dressrosa, we knew why we were going to Dressrosa. Whole Cake Island, we knew why we were going. Like we're going to fight Big Mom. Wano, Egghead was a bit of a surprise, but we knew it was going to involve the government as soon as we figured out it was Egghead. So it's like Elbaf, like we don't have any idea what the main conflict is going to be at all.
True. That is true.
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't even think of it like that.
It's going to be sick,
Yeah,
man.
I'm always right.
True.
The first ever shonen arc where nothing happens.
Clearly, you did not read.
That's not true. I did not read. I must not have read Bleach.
Nigga did not read the Shinjuku Showdown arc. Apparently,
No, I think a lot happened, bro. I'm gonna keep it real.
I did too, and then we're in the epilogue, so
there was a lot going on. There just wasn't a lot happening.
Yeah.
I have a question for Sky. This is the last thing I want to talk about.
Fuck me.
Dangerous thing. Okay.
Okay, so they're all the Blackbeard pirates. They're matched up to fight their like Straw Hat counterpart. Who do you think Aokiji is gonna fight, if he fights anyone?
I think
There's a right answer, by the way. I don't know what it is, but
They don't have the correct numbers because Blackbeard, Aokiji is one too many.
right. Well, I remember a long time ago, the theory was that Sanji was gonna fight the one dude's horse because Zenith incorrectly remembered that the horse's name was Hunger.
I did not remember incorrectly.
Isn't it Hunger?
Did, and he lied to me.
I thought the horse's name was Hunger, but it's Stronger.
And I thought that would be so funny, but alas, reality is disappointing.
True.
Oh man. Because it's one too many. Hold on, I maybe okay. I'll be honest. This is going to be a rare moment of sincerity that you're gonna get from me on this podcast.
Really?
I've never read One Piece. You might be able to tell because I never know fucking anything that's going on. I have no clue what is happening constantly, always. I'm always forgetting shit. I am always mistaken about stuff.
This nigga is on the wiki as we speak.
I am legitimately. I opened up the wiki for the Blackbeard crew because I don't remember each of the members. Well, I don't remember their names.
That's fair. I don't remember all of them
but
either.
Like Vasco Shot, I did not remember his name. I just remembered he had the weird nose. Yeah. So whenever I say something, if you think, "Oh, that guy sounds like an idiot," that's correct. You can just ignore it.
I think you could.
Aokiji fight. Well, he's gonna fight the honorary last Straw Hat, Kobe.
I think that's actually. I think that is the answer. Like, I genuinely think that's correct.
I do think so too. Well, because I was wondering before, it's like, how the fuck is Kobe gonna get involved, like with Luffy and Blackbeard? But Kobe already said that he declared he's like, "Oh, Luffy-san, I can't like let you get the One Piece." So
He's
yeah, because he's a fake friend. Whenever Luffy and Blackbeard,
man after my own heart.
Whenever Luffy and Blackbeard fight, it's going to be, in my opinion, I think it's going to be for the One Piece.
Yes.
It's like, that's the final battle for the One Piece. Ooh. Well, if Kobe has now declared that he's not going to let either of them get the One Piece, somehow, some way, maybe he'll be involved in that conflict. And if he is, I think he'll fight Aokiji. I think that'll be like that fight. And I think it'll be a cool fight.
I think it's also fair to say that Kobe does just kind of like have beef with the Blackbeard pirates, like, period.
Oh yeah.
At this point, as far as like,
and well, he has to see Garp.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta go get Garp.
Gotta go. Once again, proving that Ace was not loved.
No way, brother.
Over and over.
No way, brother.
The world is determined to prove that no one gave a fuck about Ace. Fun fact, Whitebeard didn't show up to Marineford to save Ace. He just did it because he was bored.
He wanted to die with style.
I'm gonna be honest with chat. I'm gonna have a real heart to heart. So before the podcast starts, every week, well, not every week because it's Sailor, but majority of the time.
The fuck? Stray of hell? What the?
No, it's not a stray. It's not a stray from hell. It's the truth. You haven't even heard what I said yet.
Well, yeah, is it complimentary? I'll hear you out. What do you guys say?
Fuck no.
No,
Well,
you
it's
dumbass.
it's a good thing. You just don't do it like you do it like 99% of the time, but it's not like super consistent.
Okay.
But every week before the podcast, he will post the order in chat of like these are the chapters we're going to talk about, like
True.
in order. And this week he was like, "Let's do One Piece, JJK, Kagurabachi," and I saw that and I was instantly like, "Fuck." I was like, I don't care about JJK. I didn't even read the fucking chapter. All I saw was everyone bitching about it. And I was like, I know we're going to talk about it. It's going to go on for like an hour. I'm just going to be sitting here doing nothing. So I asked Sailor, I was like, hey, can we do Kagurabachi before JJK so that way I can just leave? Like, when it's time to talk about JJK so I can just dip. But then we started talking about the JJK chapter before the podcast. And it was really fucking funny. So instead, I actually do want to talk about JJK.
Okay.
I knew this was gonna happen.
I did not
knew
think
we
you
got
would,
you.
honestly.
The way you described it, the fucking like example you're like about like One Piece, where it's like after Egghead, if Luffy was like, man, actually, I don't think Vegapunk's speech was too long at all.
Yeah. Bro, that's exactly what the fuck it was, man. Before we transition to JJK, because we're right there, I do want to bring up one last thing about One Piece. I'm very curious to see what Lafitte's plan is going to be with what Blackbeard was saying. I'm thinking it's going to be a situation since the Celestial Dragons are running out of food. I think the way Blackbeard cozies his way in there is just by saying, hey, I can send you guys food. I can hook y'all up with some eats. I got Uber Eats. I'm inventor of Uber Eats, Blackbeard. I can do that.
Another thing about Blackbeard
really
that's
like
kind of
that idea.
weird is that the entire reason the Blackbeard Pirates went to Egghead was for Katarina Devon to touch Saturn. So now she can turn into Saturn. But the problem is Emu killed him. What I'm wondering is, are they going to report that to the rest of the world?
I don't think they are.
I mean, I don't think they will.
I think their hubris is going to be the
they're
downfall of them again.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if they
like,
don't,
okay.
they're shooting themselves in the foot, because then that lets Blackbeard keep that card. Because if they reported it, then Blackbeard's card is ruined.
I
like,
think
Right.
it's funny because we had this conversation fucking months ago. We had this exact conversation that Saturn's probably going to die, the world government's not going to report it, and this card, that's going to screw them over for this exact reason.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
that's how it played out.
I think it's definitely going to be a situation where, like, the vice admirals who saw it, they're going to get back, they're going to report it, and maybe it's going to be Garling, maybe it's going to be someone else. They're going to be like, hey, we know, keep it on the hush-hush. And that's when, the vice admirals will probably start wondering what's going on. And I think we brought it up last week, but in case we didn't, Saturn's saying Emu's name before he died. Like, they're probably going to think, like, what the fuck was that about? Like, who's
I didn't
Emu?
even think about that.
Yeah, like,
Shit.
who's Emu? What are they hiding from us? What do you mean? Why should we keep this a secret? One of the world leaders just died. We should be reporting this. And I think that's when the seed of doubt is going to be planted, and it's going to be built upon more and more. The more orders that they're going to get that are, like, more and more messed up, I think that's when things are going to start to click for him. We're going to see people break away.
And specifically, I think it's interesting because most of the vice admirals and of course, someone in chat will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm relying on chat. The vice admirals that we see in Egghead, virtually all of them are brand new characters. Like, we've never seen them before. They're all new vice admirals. Except with one exception. The only old vice admiral that I can remember is Doberman, the one who got his fucking ass cheeks clapped. So,
well, you didn't need to say it like that.
how else would I say it?
Okay, I'm sorry.
The guy who got eviscerated?
What's the
hey,
difference?
brother.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sorry, bro. Is that a term for turbulent times?
Damn.
What do you have against me in my vocabulary?
You're
Here's the
weird.
To go along with the seed of doubt idea, I actually completely buy that because one of the more prominent vice admirals in Egghead is Doll,
Yes.
and her first appearance was in Egghead. Like, it's very recent, and we see her, and she's friends with Smoker, with Kobe, with Garp. Like, she is a good Marine. There's the bad Marines and the good Marines. She's a good Marine. So I would believe it if this incident makes her kind of lean more towards like Kobe and them, like when it's time to kind of like rebel against the government whenever that happens.
For sure, yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be real interesting. But yeah, that's all my dialogue options for One Piece. Do you guys want to move on?
Yeah.
No, but let's go.
Yeah,
just
we gotta rip the
afraid.
Band-Aid off.
Let's get into it, chat. I'll read comments later, but I get the feeling y'all want to talk about this chapter as much as we do. So, Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 269. Fellas, how are you feeling about this one?
Real quick.
Don't you mean Jujutsu Yapsen?
I mean Lampshade
so-
Kaisen.
That's basically what I wanted to ask, because I already know Zenith and Sailor hate this chapter.
This shit is ass.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because Silver doesn't hate JJK as much as you two, and Sky doesn't. I don't think Sky really hates JJK at all.
I don't.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you two what you thought of this chapter. I'm just curious.
That's
I
fair.
keep feeling that this is a dog shit ass cheeks chapters. I'm just like, well, like, you know, what do you guys think?
Yeah,
Age before
I
beauty.
could have done without this.
Is that it? Do you have anything else to say, Silver?
I mean, what do you want? I don't really know what else I could say. It's basically all of them
I-
yapping about their regrets about what it could have done in their fight, only for them to explain why they couldn't do it. Because, like, hell, we were literally just talking about it. That's before we started the podcast. That's just like it's basically just GG trying to explain his reasoning for why the fight went the way it did.
Miji?
Or
He's
GG
been
Akutami.
calling him GG, guys. I thought you guys just
I
accepted
have
this.
not
Yeah.
heard. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, I accept
Because
you,
you
Silver.
just-
Don't
it
worry.
It feels like a waste of time, essentially. 'cause it's
That's
Yeah.
what I was
Yeah.
saying.
This
Why-
is
Honestly, it
the
does.
most defensive, like, retroactive, stupid fucking writing
Yeah.
I've
This
ever
is
seen.
like-
This is
I
the first
understand-
time I think JJK has
I've
been
never
actually shit.
seen like a series do this, because generally when a fight, like anything in a series, is all about how a writer handles the flow of information, you know? Because like for example, generally, like the Inumaki scene, for example, that's actually a really important one when the recording is thrown into the domain. Generally, the really typical thing to happen in a moment like that would be like some narration or dialogue where it's like, this wouldn't have worked if we used this at the start, but now it's just the right time, and it's like it hypes it up, you know, don't move, gets the hit in. And it's like that sort of thing happens in a lot of shonen because it explains what's going on in a way that's hype, it justifies it, and gives it basically keeps the information flowing in a way that's satisfying.
Mhm.
It's given at the right moment to make sure that you're not taken out of the moment.
Yeah.
So
And
when you do it
JJK
after
does
the
that.
fight, it feels defensive. Like, well, why didn't you say
Yeah.
that earlier?
It's
Why
very
are you
much
saying it
lampshading.
now after it was in the comments. Half of this chapter feels like Akutami just reading the comments section, be like, well,
It's
no.
Akutami going on, like, I don't know, YouTube or Twitter, and then looking at the criticisms that people have had for JJK because he just didn't feel like expounding on these ideas and topics before the fight started, and him just going, nuh-uh. But what makes it even worse is the fact that you put a light on all of this, and funnily enough, in an attempt to solidify your stance, you just pointed out how weak and shallow it actually is. Because let's say, for example, and we can do this with every section, but you know, we'll keep going around and we'll get there when we get there. But let's say, for example, the Inumaki thing, right? Panda says Inumaki couldn't have used cursed speech sooner because Sukuna was in too good condition, right? And that's what people have said before in order to defend it. And to me, I was like, but like, this is a technique that attacks the brain, and Sukuna has severe brain damage because of unlimited void. Couldn't that work? Like, I wasn't very happy about it. And then I thought about it, and then I was like, you know what? Sure, Akutami. That's the explanation. Inumaki could not use curse speech because Sukuna is just that much more powerful than him at the moment. Yuta is sitting right next to that nigga, and he also has cursed speech. So why didn't we just have Yuta record a don't move command a month before this fight? And the chapter won't answer that because he didn't fucking think about it.
Here's my thing about this chapter is like.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I'm just saying because like like the precedence for this chapter does inherently make some kind of sense. Like obviously, after the battle's done, they're gonna have regrets about a few things that they feel like could have done better. That's fine, but the fact that out of the author is using it as like a voice, as a means of voicing out his own issues with the comments and such, like we were saying, that's just where you lose me.
So in case you guys haven't seen, when I read the leaks for this chapter, I put out in my community post 1 out of 10 chapter. Now, obviously, I was being very hyperbolic. I mean, for God's sakes, the chapter wasn't even out yet. And I stress it all the time. This is why it's very important to not just read leaks, but you got to read the TCB as well as the official, because that'll give you the best scope of the chapter. Especially for JJK. Yes, absolutely. Especially for JJK. So I was like, you know what? You know, very hyperbolic in that moment. I am excited to read the actual chapter. I wake up this morning, I read the chapter. And do I still think it's a 1 out of 10? No. But I will say, and I genuinely mean this, I'm not trying to exaggerate or anything. For me personally, this is a bottom 5 JJK chapter. This is one of the 5 where I've actually compiled a list. I will tell you my 5 worst chapters. We have chapter
269, 268, 267, 266, 265.
We have chapter 147. This one is the least egregious because honestly, I just don't care about it. But that is the Even Pandas Cry chapter. I don't care about this chapter that much.
Yeah.
So that one I'm not mad at. I just don't care about it all that much. Then we have chapter 208, the chapter where Yuki dies. We have 236, obviously when Gojo dies. Chapter 254, where we gas up Kusakabe for a whole chapter and then we swallow it. We fucking follow that back. We have to swallow that pill with fucking Miguel showing up at the end. Holy. And then chapter 269. This is in running for one of the worst chapters in the entire story because it genuinely, on top of the other stuff that I have problems with, and again, we will get into that because my God, there's so much wrong with this chapter. It feels like Akutami doesn't know that his series is ending. Like when I read this, I was like, yo, you know your series ends in 2 weeks, right? Like you have 2 chapters left, right? You know that, right? Because this feels so much like a nothing chapter. Because instead of us building up towards a grand conclusion, a grand finale for the story, instead we spend half of the chapter talking about a fight that we were in for over a year because the author didn't want to explain all of the elements about it properly. So now we're explaining them to you now in order to try to diffuse and lampshade all of these issues that you've brought up. And then the second half of the chapter is going in depth on the inner workings of a technique that we were told don't fucking matter the second you introduced these level of, or this sort of like binding vow or consequence in the story. As soon as it's brought up, Mei Mei's like, don't worry about it, it's fine. And now Akutami is like, actually, worry about it a lot, guys. Worry about it so much that I'm going to write one of my final chapters in the manga is going to be partially centered around the inner workings of New Shadow Style, and it's going to be talking about how actually there's this old dude who's sucking the soul out of people, Ayo, and he wants to be able to get to the top of the Jujutsu world. What does he want to do? Why does he want to do it? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, and he's dead. He's dead. Sorry, you'll never figure that out. What the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing, bro?
Yeah.
I just don't get it, man.
I'm really not sure, man.
I
really don't.
I barely understand what happened to begin with. So.
Oh my god, man. Holy. Chapter 211. Awesome. I mean, I genuinely, I do love this series, but god, it pisses me off. Chapter 211, let me look into that, brother.
This is like an ugly breakup.
Man, I'm fucking
So what you're saying is the chapter wasn't very good.
This is the kind of breakup that makes you wonder why you even have relationships. Why do I even read manga?
Why do I even read manga, man? Chapter 211, that's honestly not bad, because that's setting up, for those of you who don't know, that's the one where it's like, hey, we got Tsumiki back, let's go. And then Tsumiki's like, add a rule to, I don't know, I forget, it's like continue the culling games or whatever. And Megumi's like, what? Tsumiki, you're evil. And that's the end of the chapter. I think it's good.
That's less a bad chapter, it's more just a bad plot line.
I think it's good. I still think Megumi's like, I still think the takeover is good. Like the plot twist is good, but Tsumiki definitely could be executed way better. Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. And then, you know, Megumi as a character could be fleshed out a lot more before he got body jacked. Bro, we were talking about this before, chat, but like Naoya is introduced and he's like, man, I fucking hate Megumi. I'm gonna kill him and take his spot. They don't talk once, chat. Holy! Holy, bro! Oh my god! Oh my god, man! Megumi lived and temporarily died and then came back without knowing of Naoya's existence. Holy shit! But yeah. Oh yeah, that chapter with Yuji, like, I don't want Angel to replace Nobara, that wasn't good either.
That was weird. Yeah.
That sucked. 210. Let me look at 210.
Guys, do we think maybe we don't like this series? I've seen a lot of chapters.
This is from a place of love. You don't understand.
That sounds like something an abusive father would say.
Oh, that's the.
You can't just go through every chapter.
Yeah, the abusive father is Tommy. Look what he's done to his series.
210 is the one where it's like, I don't want her replacing Kugisaki. That one was just. I think there's more egregious shit. I wouldn't. That one's. If we're making a top 10, it's on there. But top 5, no, not for me personally.
It's a really bad moment.
Yeah. It's just very silly. I still don't like that chapter very much, but yeah. But anyway, back to this chapter, man. Let me go through. Let's go through page by page, and we can just talk about it. Because, like I said before, there's a lot, so we may as well.
So it's only right that we do too.
Yeah.
We've earned the right. God damn it.
Yeah. So, first page is with Mei Mei, which, by the way, God, my queen looks horrible in this page, but you know,
she's looked horrible for a very long time. I genuinely don't think she's looked decent since Shibuya. Like,
I think she
Akutami
looks
is constantly drawing her hair like it's a fucking sack of flour on her head. Like, it's legitimately terrible. Here's the thing, if you fucking hate drawing her hair so much, maybe you shouldn't have fucking made her look like that.
Well, you
I
have
have no sympathy, motherfucker. Or just give her a fucking haircut. I don't care. Say, oh, she was in the range of Sukuna's thing, and now she got her fucking bangs cut. So you don't have to
Well,
fucking look like that anymore. If you hate her so fucking much, what a worthless, stupid fucking character, dude.
not too much.
Pedophile. Just does shit with
What?
birds and nothing else. Shit sucks.
Holy!
I can feel like you're bubbling, your anger like bubbling.
That was a
Every
top
word.
5 crash out. Oh my god.
Every word
I
I can
just-
Yo.
I am so sick of every time I see her. It's some stupid shit.
Yo.
We can't tell Yuji about the plane because residence might happen. Well, actually, that's not going to happen. All right. Well, I guess she's just an idiot.
Maybe.
Yo,
I
like
guess
the
she's just wrong
stream,
about
y'all.
fucking
Like the
everything.
stream, bro.
No, dude, genuinely though, Mei is a really interesting character because she manages to get worse every
Oh my
time.
god. Yeah.
Oh, every single time she shows up, she gets worse and worse. Like,
Yeah.
Anything right? These people can't do anything.
Fuck
it's like,
me.
It's like the reverse of normal character writing, where usually when a character shows up more often, they get like more developed,
God,
and
yeah.
they get more interesting, and they get better. She managed to flip that on its head. She's just fucking awful, dude.
Bro, and she's about to start, like, when Ui takes the reign, she's like, yeah, we'll make a monthly subscription service to New Shadow Style. Holy! She's out here taxing for techniques, bro. God damn, it don't get better, man. But
Dumbass.
listen,
Doesn't do anything. Anything. Anything useful
you like-
whatsoever.
He like threw a crow out there and it died.
not too much, bro.
God. And I think once again we let us not move past the fact because here I am being like, oh yeah, she's wrong about stuff, she's worthless. Let us not move past the fucking pedophile.
Oh no, I
These
did not.
aren't allegations. It's just an observation.
It's just true.
Yeah, no, it is. I remember when the leaks were coming out and we were all talking about the chat. I was like, God, I need this pedophile to stop yapping and talk about something I care about. What the fuck?
Oh
The
my
double
god,
standard is insane.
bro, it's so hard because I've tried to ride for Mei for a while, and you know,
Like,
You're
that
you're
idiot.
you're
it's been
supporting a
so
criminal.
hard.
The most vile type of
It's
criminal.
but I
alive.
can't.
difficult.
I can't, man. I want to blind myself, you know. I'm
Fujitora.
like, I
Like
no way.
Fujitora.
Yeah, I'm like,
Bro,
no
you sound
way.
like Fujitora, bro.
Yeah.
bro, I'm like,
Fucking
no way.
Fujitora, bro.
This was my queen, and she's a pedophile. She likes some young, and it's incestuous. Ah. And then she just starts spouting bullshit for no reason.
Sailor's gonna be like, I wish I hadn't blinded myself. I bet your eyes look kind the first time he meets a half decent white woman.
I gotta be on my Gabriella shit, man. I gotta go my own way, bro. I gotta leave her behind. I can't do this shit.
There is, dude, that page of her when she's laying in bed naked with her brother.
Irreparable damage, bro.
I
There
have
is-
never seen a character fall from grace like that.
Irreparable.
Didn't really have grace. Like, wasn't even like a well-liked character to begin with. Really, it's
There
like,
I
is-
liked her.
there's
She was a
not a
dickhead, but she was
single-
cool.
he was, you know,
There is not a
Tolerated.
single justification for that page.
It's not
There
at
is, like,
all. It doesn't even do
no
anything for
joy.
their characters. Oh my
There's
god.
no reason, bro.
It's so fucking gross, man.
I need to
Why?
meditate. I need to.
Well, you can meditate after this chapter, buddy, because we got more bullshit to go through.
I can't, we're not even.
So,
all right. Yeah, that
After-
was page one.
Yeah,
We haven't
page
even really
one.
talked about it.
page 2. After last week's chapter, building up. I have not heard All Red by Cardi. Is it good, by the way? But page 2, I was focusing on potentially better things. I was listening to some albums when I was reading Undead Unluck this morning, and then I read this chapter. I didn't want to listen to nothing no more. I just fucking balled up and cried and fucking... Anyway, right? So page 2, after last week, or last chapter, being like, we have to save Yuta. We're just kidding. He's fine. He's okay. Yuta is back in his body now. And Maki is screaming and shouting at him, which honestly, I've seen people get on Maki for this. I think it's fair. I think it's totally fair for Maki. You know, maybe I'm biased. She's my tribal chief, of course. But I think it's totally fair for Maki, as someone who obviously cares about Yuta, her being like, you stupid bitch. How could you do all this irresponsible stuff? You think just because you got back in your body and everything's fine, that it's all hunky-dory? Fuck you, you dumb asshole. We were all worried about you. We could have did so much better. What is wrong with you? I think that's definitely fair for Maki. So I don't have much issue with that. I think the Yuta fake out fucking we have to go save him and he's perfectly fine. It's just like, it's just...
I think...
Compared to everything else, yeah, it's the least egregious thing in this chapter.
Like, all right, I didn't really... I don't know. I wonder if, like, Japanese audiences, you know, able to read the original translation, were able to better get that it was meant to be a gag last week. I don't know if that's, like, a thing.
Well,
I certainly
the
didn't
way
get that.
Megami reacts to it, where he's like, oh, like, from Maki?
Yeah.
No,
I think
he's
it
saying...
makes
that's-
sense, so, like,
He
it would
says
be
it's
crazy
that was
if-
things... go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you got it.
Well,
I
it's
was-
like, I get that was the joke.
I wasn't
in
talking
last
to you.
chapter. Okay.
I was talking to you.
I know you weren't talking to me. I'm doing it anyway. Fuck.
Well, no, well then shut up, because I think Taylor had the wording, which is what was actually relevant to what I
No,
was saying.
I was just saying that, you know, when in that chapter, when Maki, we now know, is yelling, like, Yuta, you son of a bitch, Megami's like, oh, is that what it sounds like when we're saving him? So...
Yeah, thank you. Like, that's a joke, and I feel like that does kind of lead into, like, this being a joke. Because if it was like, oh, is that how it sounds when we save him? And they walk in and he's, like, bleeding out on the ground, it would be like, ooh.
Then again, I think it also
Fair
is
enough.
pretty fair to be like, you know, with how complicated that whole soul thing was. But I can totally understand with what you're saying, too.
I think
that makes sense.
I think it is supposed to, it is a what's it? I think the implication is probably, I think to me what it implied was that he was gonna still be in Gojo's body, and,
Yeah,
and the whole saving him was going to be like, oh, how do we get him back?
That's
into
what I
his
thought
body?
too. Yeah.
But I do think it was definitely not like Yuta's in real danger.
For sure.
have to, like,
Yeah, I can
figure
agree with that.
something out.
I can agree with that for sure. So moving on, page 3. We have Kusakabe being like, you know, Itadori, I think you should have been executed. And all I can say to this is too little too late. We should have had this character interaction at the start of this arc, like beforehand, when we were actually planning up to the month time skip. I'm sorry, like it would have been much more interesting to see them have a conversation and to see Kusakabe talk to Itadori about these things and then go, but you know what? You're here now. I'm gonna help you. Like, that could have been a good moment. That could have been really cool. Some nice character interaction. That would be nice. But instead, just randomly, oh, hey, Itadori, you think, I think you should have died. Motherfucker, shut up. Like, shut up. And even then, what he was saying in the grand scheme of things, with him being like, you know, I'm not going to say that I told you so, or, you know, you were right and I was wrong, or blah, blah, blah. You just have to, you know, like, let's all just move on from this. And why the fuck did you bring it up? Why did you bring it up? Why the fuck did you bring it up?
Weird.
Like,
Okay.
like, it's so strange. Like, why is, like, you know, Itadori, I think you should have died, but don't worry about that. What? Like,
I was so convinced that this, like, that was a little tone deaf in the leaks. I'm sure that'll be better in the trailer. No, he just says that shit.
he just says
Well,
it.
I think it's weird because I just read that page, and it's because I get the idea behind it. He's basically being like, "Oh, this is something I thought, and now it doesn't matter anymore." Because the circuit, like, it is what it is. Basically, like you guys shouldn't forgive. You shouldn't feel guilt because it is what it is. Just forget about it. Things are over. But like the way he says it makes it almost feel like, man, I was right, but it all worked out.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like the way he says it. He's like, yeah, you should have died, but it worked out. So like,
It worked out.
Like,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah.
it's like, all right, dude.
Man.
Yeah.
If I was you, I would have preferred to just shut up. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. It's all very. It's just very
It's just
silly.
weird. It's just weird.
Like the way he's trying to get it across is just very silly, in my opinion. It just makes it sound very random. Like we could have had this conversation before. I don't know why we're choosing to have it now. I think it is just because, again, you know, this was something that people wanted to see. I know I wanted to see these two interact because Kusakabe said a while ago that, hey, I think Itadori should die. I don't support this kid. And then the next time they're on screen, they're training together all buddy-buddy. Okay. Yeah, it's just too late, in my opinion. Let's see. This page 4 is just them talking about how Yuta survived and like, oh yeah, sorry, I made everyone worry. There was some miscalculations and things like that. And then we start to get into things. We can skip over this one. This one is, this next page is just them going over the things that they could have done differently. And this is where it gets kind of confusing for me, because Maki brings up like, hey, I should have been the one to attack Kenjaku. This is something that's been brought up before in the story. So it, you know, fine with that. But what confuses me is Todo is saying that like, hey, my boogie woogie can't target you, Maki. But from the translations, it's like implying that Yuta killed Kenjaku without boogie woogie anyway. So like, I'm very confused.
I think, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. It's just weird.
Right, both of our resident JJK experts don't know.
No, like I don't know why it's worded that way. I think maybe it's implying that Yuta was originally gonna do it alone. But like, I don't know why that would be relevant to the conversation.
Well, here's the thing, because if Todo did go with Yuta, then I have to believe that Todo, who's very quick on his feet, saw Tengen get teleported away and didn't go, let me maybe clap that back over here. maybe I should probably do something about that. And then I also have to believe that Todo, for no reason, just wrapped his hand back up after using his technique already, because we need to have the big reveal of the Vibra Slap, guys. That's what we really need to do.
To be fair, he would do that.
I guess. I don't know. The nigga who rips his shirt off in every battle, I don't think he'd, waste time putting shit back on.
Well, he has to rip it off again.
I guess so. Touche, I guess. But it is.
I get what you're saying. Any other character, I'd agree on the wrap up thing. But like, it's
touche. Yeah. So that whole situation is just kind of confusing for me. I mean, I definitely can see where they're coming from with the whole like, hey, we needed to kill all of the cursed spirits that leaked out of Kenjaku. That would only been good for Yuta and Rika, which is cool. I definitely agree with that. And I'm totally fine with Yuta being there instead of Maki, because sure, it was a mistake, but like, it's character reasons. Like, it's a character reason why that was a mistake. That's good. I like that. It was just a very confusing translation here for Todo. But the Executioner's Sword. Oh boy. So again, I brought up one instance of this, them being like, hey, you know, Inumaki, he was too weak to really use it on Sukuna when he first reincarnated, first fully reincarnated. Why didn't we just have Yuta record it a month out? Especially since you had Inumaki tell him that you can do that. Like, why didn't we just have Yuta record one? We already see that it doesn't cause that much of a strain for him as he used it in the domain against this form of Sukuna. So I don't know why we just don't do that. That's kind of weird. Also, the whole Higuruma and Todo plan, if Todo was here, I don't know. Again, these translations are very funky. But if Todo was here the whole time, why didn't we just have him with Higuruma? Because he can just teleport people from off the battlefield. So why didn't I can understand like, well, we had to go attack Kenjaku. Well, shit, guys, why don't we stagger this attack? Why don't we just have Todo and Higuruma try to kill Sukuna with the Executioner Sword, and then afterwards we can all jump Kenjaku like what we were planning to do if Gojo won? Why don't we just do that? Especially since you guys were confident, like, yeah, we could probably beat Kenjaku. Like, if we all just jump that nigga, we can probably all just beat him, and Gojo can rest after beating Sukuna. Why didn't we just do that? What's the deal with that? But again, if Todo wasn't here, if he arrived later, because I think there was a chapter where he says, like, I came late, so I have to stay standing. I don't know. Did he literally just make it over to the battlefield late, or did he enter the battle late? I don't know. These translations kind of suck. It's just a very confusing situation. Then the next page, page 6, Higuruma is still alive. How? That's all I can really ask. How? Especially taking a point blank cleave from Sukuna, who was intending to kill the guy. Like, Sukuna thought he killed the dude. Why did he not just dice him to pieces? It's kind of weird. I don't know why he's still alive. I mean, I personally don't care too much about Higuruma, so, like, I'm not gonna... I've seen people say, like, oh, Disney Kaisen. I don't care, honestly. I just don't care that much about Higuruma. It's just kind of like a head scratcher. Like, why would he survive going up against Sukuna in that sort of situation? But okay, sure, he's back. He's saying that Sukuna would have just killed me if Akotsu had been around. Again, why didn't we just have Akotsu record a don't move command a month before this whole fight happened, and we still could have done this? Then we have oh god, I'm sorry.
Before you continue, I do think that could be answered by just having a moment to explain how recording, like, cursed speech even fucking works. Because, like, is that just not weird to anyone else? The fact that someone can, like, a cursed speech user can record their command, their chill, and then it plays, and their throat's all fucked up?
I think that's just how it is.
I think that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know why it's how it is. So maybe it's a whole thing where it's like, Yuta can't record it, because in that instance, when he's, you know, in Gojo's body, he doesn't have cursed speech, so now it just doesn't work. And that's a possible explanation. I'm not giving him that, by the way. He needs to say that if that's the case. But my point is, there are potential explanations. But I don't fucking understand how this recording cursed speech thing even works. Like, it's a weird concept that I think could just use a little explanation. That's neither here nor there. Go on. It's just a weird concept.
Yeah. Sorensen, I see you saying reverse cursed energy, but, like, again, Sukuna can kill you even when you're using RCT. He killed Gojo when he was using RCT, and his RCT is, like, best in the verse. So, like, I don't know, bro. It's kind of shaky. Yeah, I don't know, especially for someone who just learned RCT, Sukuna literally touching you and his slashes, like, they adjust to your strength and they adjust to overpower you and kill you. So, like, I don't know. I mean, like, he has been wrong before, but he made that shit right in a second. So, like, I don't know with him sending that many slashes through your chest, how one didn't strike open your heart and fuck you up, but whatever. Like I said, I don't care that much about Higuruma, but I do care about Miguel and LaRue, because it was said, like, hey, how come we didn't just get these guys for help? And this seems to be the one thing that everybody agrees, like, yeah, that's right. Why didn't we get these guys? And the answer is that, well, they said they wouldn't come. And I think that is awful. Because, again, I think we could have had more development for these characters. We could have had more interaction for these characters. And I think it would have been really interesting, because for someone like Miguel, who did not want to fight Sukuna, how about you have Yuta approach him and say, hey, we have this plan with Higuruma where he can produce a one-hit KO move, so no one has to fight Sukuna. All we need is for you guys to be there for a little bit, LaRue grab his heart, divert his attention, we stab him, it's over. That way you don't have to fight him. And it would have been interesting to see Miguel go, oh, yeah, like, I'll join you for that. Cool, yeah, I mean, LaRue, we should get out there. I don't want to fight that guy. I don't want to fight him when he has his domain and stuff. Let's do that. Or it could be interesting to go, that sounds too good to be true. And he explains his reasoning, and it could be a back and forth, and he's just like, but you know what? I'll help you out, Akotsu. Or if you don't want him to come in, you can just have him say, nah, that's bullshit. There's no way that works. A guy like Sukuna, he's non-standard. That's something like that. It's just not going to work for him. And they debate back and forth. They argue back and forth. And then Miguel says, you know what? I will come and help you, but I'll come help you later when Sukuna is much weaker, because then we could actually have a better chance of beating him. And they debate back and forth. We could have had these character interactions, but instead it's just, well, how come they didn't show up earlier? They didn't want to. Why? Anyway, like it's, I think that's the thing that gets me, is that the concept of this chapter doesn't even bother me. It should have been before this whole raid. We should have been going through all of these processes and planning and things like that before this whole raid went down, because this would have been a lot more suspenseful. Because imagine if, for some reason, we can't have Yuta use curse speech. Imagine if, let's say, like, Yuji has Inumaki's voice recording in his pocket, and he's about to throw it down after they get out of the domain, and he's thinking in his mind, oh God, is he weak enough? Is Sukuna weak enough in this form? I mean, he took a lot of damage against Gojo. His brain is battered, but he just reincarnated. What if this blows back on Inumaki? I'm playing with his life right now. And then Higuruma gets thrown away. Yuji has to chase him down, and Higuruma gets hurt because of him not being decisive in that moment, which goes into why Sukuna doesn't like him. You indecisive brat, blah, 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 blah. That would have been something, man. Like, we could have had these moments, and it would have been human error. It would have been human mistakes. It would have been character mistakes as to why these things didn't work out the way they did. It would have been like, oh, this character fumbled, but like, it makes sense because they were thinking of X, Y, and Z. They had this, that going on. I could understand it. But instead, it's just, oh, well, it didn't happen. Why? Don't know. Anyway. It's just, man.
It's literally that meme, the Will Smith, like, iRobot meme, where he's like, do y'all have any character writing? No, we have implications.
We got flashbacks. That's the Shinjuku Showdown. We got flashbacks explaining everything in detail later. Just fuck it. Who cares? Yeah, man. I think this sort of chapter happening right now is pretty much just what everyone else has been saying. It is so obviously Akutami trying to cover up for the criticisms that he got throughout the raid, and I'm sorry, it's just too late, brother. It's just too late, man. All of this stuff would have been nice, it would have been cool, but the manga is ending in 2 chapters. I would much rather see the characters, I don't know, think about the raid and, the loss of Gojo and, I don't know, start building towards a conclusion.
Wow. Yeah, God forbid we see characters mourn.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, listen. Because I've also seen people talking about like, oh man, they're not mourning Gojo. And I want to make it clear, we have 2 chapters left. I'm sure we will see a funeral for Gojo. But if we don't, Jogo was right. The curses are the real humans, bro. Because what the fuck? There's no way. There's no way, man. If we don't see that shit, bro, nah, that's actually OD. I think we will. I want to say, I think we will. I won't be dooming. I think we will see it. But if we don't, I'm pissed. But yeah, man. This part of the chapter is it is just so blatantly just Akutami trying to dampen all of the criticisms that he's gotten. And then, people are saying like, oh, it's my fault. Oh, it's my fault. Fucking Nishimiya is like, I'm sorry, I didn't do too much. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, Nishimiya? Some of y'all may not remember who that is. It's the witch girl on the broom. She's like, oh, I wish I got to do more. Yo, whose mans is this? Yo, you would have got packed the fuck up. Hey, thank goodness you didn't do anything. You would have died for no reason. I will say, rare compliment for this chapter. I love Rika carrying everybody in her mouth. Just her fucking strong ass jawline, and she's floating over the battlefield. That shit's funny, man. Also, Kashimo, you were shit talking Yuta and you were in the palm of that nigga's hand. You would have got cooked. What are you doing, bro? Come on. But yeah, I like that. I thought that was fun. Hikari fans, I just want to say I'm sorry for y'all loss. The battle is over. Hikari saying that I wanted to fight Sukuna, but Uraume was too strong. Holy, it's done. It's done. You tried to go band for band with a special grade. Yo bank card declined, nigga. You gonna have to get that back. You can't do that no more.
It's just so
you can't do that no more, buddy. You can't fucking do that no more.
He's even stronger than me.
I do apologize for the Hikari fan. I really am.
Broke nigga alert. Broke nigga alert.
Mad shit.
Nah, man. That shit is crazy.
Is this genuinely... Because I wasn't here the chapter... I had stuff I had to do, so I was busy the chapter when Sukuna died.
Mm-hmm.
This entire conclusion is so much nothing.
Brother, yes. And
Yeah.
It was funny. I think you brought it up. No, Sage brought it up. He's like, it feels like Akutami, he just be making things up for the ending because he covered everything already. And I'm like, Sage, I know you're joking, but I think that's true. Like, I think that's just legit because the way we fucking sped through the end of Shinjuku Showdown, Sukuna dies, Uraume dies, Megumi's back, bam, 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 like all in the same chapter. Nah, man, I think you might be spitting.
Well, that's
like,
real.
Did anyone like learn anything? Like what happened?
Yuji definitely did. I know
Yeah,
Yuji definitely did.
Yuji had some great character moments.
Yuji had some great moments, some incredible moments for his character. That's my goat. In terms of everyone else, shit, nigga, we gonna see. We gonna see.
Yo, that's the problem
I mean, like-
I have with this chapter and the explanations is that so much of it is purely logistical.
Mm-hmm.
And very little, if outright none, is based on the characters and their flaws.
Yes.
And that makes it incredibly boring. Even if it did address everything, it would just be fucking boring. I would prefer that this shit is saved for, like, volume extras.
Yes.
Or just, like, or a fucking anything else. Because, once again, you know, for these last few chapters, which, Octani, I'm sorry, people like your characters. I know you hate that. But people, unfortunately, like the characters you wrote. And they want to see, like, actual... Like... to compare it to, you know, to make the obvious comparison, Hunter x Hunter.
True.
Chimera Ant Arc. This is very palace invasion. That's very much like the spirit of Shinjuku Showdown. And a minor example, but Knuckle going to fight Yuppie.
God, that shit is so good.
It's so good because
God,
it is stated by him and Shoot a stupid idea. It's the wrong choice. It is logistically a complete mistake, but they have to do it just for their pride as humans.
Yes.
Knuckle cannot back away from him. And that's what makes that moment so good, because it's a choice that is rooted in the characters, in their flaws and their strengths.
Yes.
But this stuff, it's like, oh, it would have actually been like, well, you know, Yuta had to fight Kenjaku because Rika had better cursed speech manipulation, and he was most likely, like, even though he wouldn't have been as effective in the surprise attack as Maki, he still would have been pretty effective. And it's like, okay, but, like, Yuta just, like, we see it where he's like, oh, you know, Gojo's, like, been the monster. It's time for us to take some of the burden, too. Isn't it so much more interesting if Yuta acknowledges, like, oh, yes, Maki probably would have been better in that situation, but I knew that, like, fighting Kenjaku would have been extremely dangerous, and I wanted to take care of all of that in addition to fighting Sukuna. Because that's my problem as a character. Instead of just going through the fucking textbook and being like, no, actually, well, because Boogie Woogie wouldn't have worked, and in that situation, Rika would have been more effective, and also, Maki was...
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying, because Yuta did have that.
It's so...
Go ahead, Taco, I'm sorry.
Me, this entire conclusion feels weird to me, because it's so void of any emotion.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just wrapping up things. Like, we don't get to...
I asked it in, because I wasn't here for that podcast, but in the Discord chat, the chapter when Sukuna died, I asked everyone, I was like, did anyone feel anything when Sukuna died?
No.
Like, this is the main fucking villain of the fucking story. Did anyone feel any emotion at all when he died?
I was tired. Does that count?
And to me, that's like, genuinely, how do you even pull that off?
By not building
insane?
up Sukuna. Yeah.
Like, isn't that insane that you have the main villain that's been the main villain since chapter fucking 1? We're how many? Almost 300 chapters in, and he dies, and no one felt a fucking thing. Am I not insane?
No,
is it crazy that I can muster more hatred for the pedophile than I can for Sukuna?
Bro,
I mean, yeah.
Like, Sukuna, he did, because when I've been going back and I've been rereading Shinjuku, Sukuna has, like, these moments where it's like, damn, this is so interesting. Because we see in his fight with Gojo how he treats people versus how Gojo treats people. You know, Gojo, while he obviously cares for his friends and, you know, he'll accept their help, as we can see with the 200% Hollow Purple, Gojo also is best fighting alone. And so he wants to keep his friends out of danger. He thinks it's better off fighting by himself. He doesn't want them to get hurt. While Sukuna, on the other hand, will use and abuse anything in order to get an advantage. He uses Yuji's memories in order to get out of the domain expansion. He uses Megumi's body, obviously, for the 10 shadows. And on top of that, there's a moment where Gojo is saying, like, you're only wearing that face because you want me to hold back on you, don't you? That's another thing. That Sukuna, he's trying to get him to trip up and second guess himself. Then obviously, you know, him using Mahoraga and Agito to hold off while he sits back and watches, and then him obviously using Mahoraga to kill him. And we get this dynamic between him and Gojo, which is really interesting. And we get more of that. Expanded on with Kashimo, when he just beats his fucking ass. Good Lord. When he's telling Kashimo, like, hey, you have had all of these people like test their mettle. They have trained up so much to fight you, and they died at your hands. They wanted you to acknowledge their strength. They wanted you to acknowledge who they were, and you killed them, but none of them cursed you. If that's not love, then what is? Why do you want any of this other shit? And we can see that with Sukuna and Gojo, where Gojo is saying, like, I worked so hard. Like, I trained so hard. I can empathize with Sukuna's loneliness. I just wanted him to know, like, how much I put into this. And I don't think I did. And then we see Sukuna at the end saying, you were magnificent, Satoru Gojo. I will never forget you. And this is another form of love that Sukuna is introducing. And it's so interesting because Sukuna says that this brand of love, the one that we know, like commonly, it's worthless. I don't need it. I don't care. I don't care about other people. I don't live for other people. But, like, does he though? You know, because he says that he lives for himself. But he just said to Gojo, I will never forget you. Your memory will live with me forever. It's not just him living for himself anymore. His life is not just his own. He's carrying someone like Gojo in his thoughts. And it's that memories thing that Yuji was talking about towards the end. And then he's saying, like, I don't need to be reaffirmed by people. But we see in his flashback with Yorozu that he's being praised by people. And he's welcoming that. And it's so interesting because while so many people throughout JJK stumble and fumble along their path, Sukuna is able to walk the straight and narrow on a knife's edge. And he's been able to do this whole time. He's a walking contradiction. And it doesn't matter because that's who he is. But we can see him start to trip and fumble throughout different parts of the raid. With him saying, like, oh man, like, I just don't like Yuji. But it's not because, like, it's a minor annoyance or whatever. Like, no, this feels much more personal. It's a much more human connection. Or, oh, Maki, you're like placing a role on me. This is the first time I'm fighting for something other than myself. All of these concepts are interesting. They're very interesting ideas that we could have built upon, but instead of doing that, the story is much more preoccupied telling you how strong this nigga is and how little he's trying. And it's like, fuck, man. Fuck! Like, oh my god! Fuck! Fuck!
There is a really interesting idea for a villain there. And I brought this up. I don't know if I brought it up on the podcast, but I brought it up in conversation. Where Sukuna feels really weird as a villain because by the end of it, he's the only one. So he has to be everyone's villain. Anytime he fights someone, the story has to have some sort of connection or reason for the fight to happen thematically or personally. But because he's running the gauntlet, it doesn't have a chance to really explore that connection. It just moves on to the next one. So that the only connection that really has any real meaning to draw from are his fight with Gojo and his fight with Yuji.
Yep.
Everything in between, shit for him to do until he has his final confrontation.
Which is weird because there's stuff there, like especially
There is.
with him and Maki. The idea that his conflict with Maki is like, oh, you think physical strength is greater than cursed energy? I'll kill you for that. And not, oh, you're exactly like me. You're another person who destroyed everything. Because you're exactly the kind of person, or curse, to be clear, that he told, like, Jogo that he should have been.
Yep.
Like, you should have destroyed everything without a single concern. That's exactly who Maki is. He should have nothing but respect for her. Obviously, beats the shit out of her.
Yeah.
He
But, like,
He does have that respect for her, though. He was looking forward to fighting her the most out of everybody.
yeah, this is like.
I've said this a
So why'd you
long
make
time
stuff
ago.
up?
Yeah,
It's just
right?
So your physical strength, and it's like, dude, you guys are a bunch of magicians who exclusively deal in fists.
Yeah. He's saying that, like, your only physical strength as he's, like, speed blitzing her and, like, tossing her
as
through
he's
buildings.
running really fast.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. What were you saying, Taco? I'm sorry.
I've said this before a long time ago, and I think it's funny because we're only 2 chapters away from the ending, and it's still true in my mind. JJK is hypothetically a good series.
Potential manga.
Yeah, it is the potential man of manga because it's like, if you really think about it, there's a lot of cool ideas.
So
You
many
wouldn't
good
get that if you
ideas.
just read the series. You'd have to really think about it.
Fuck, man. Bro, when Mei at the end of the chapter brought up the big 3 families, I fell to my fucking knees. I was like, no way we're doing this now,
Bro,
man.
I have been seeing so many people online like complain about like, hey, what's with the big 3 family stuff not really mattering? Bro, that's not what the story's about.
Yeah,
They have not
why
mattered
are they
at all.
being talked about? Because they don't fucking. I'm fine.
Literally.
Well, they matter now.
No, because
Fine.
the Zenin family is done. Gojo was described as a one-man clan. The Gojo family sucks without that nigga. And the what was it? The God, what was it?
North-
I
Kamo,
swear to
yeah,
God.
Kamo
Kamo.
clan.
Yeah.
Their leader died.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
leader is dead. So like, what's going on, man?
Yeah,
Politics. Politics.
bro. Yeah, politics.
What do you mean? Oh, aren't you really concerned about the families? Dude, literally, there was a fantastic chapter with Kenjaku where he exhibited very interesting character traits. You remember those? Where he
distant
tells
memory.
Blood Boy, he's just like, oh, yeah, they're not a problem anymore. They don't matter.
Yeah,
I've taken them out of the equation. That yes, any
I've taken the seat.
Gojo's never mattered,
never fucking matter.
and the Kamos, any chance of having relevance has been unceremoniously removed. So don't worry. To come back in and be like, whoa, did you realize like that would be if, not to get political, but if during the presidential debate they were like, and it appears as though the Federalists have a candidate. It's like, who cares? The Federalists. Oh, I'm sorry. Is Aaron Burr taking the stage? Jesus Christ.
Fuck,
What a load of ass.
bro.
JJK is such a frustrating
dude.
series.
Oh my god.
It's genuinely
This is
so frustrating.
The exact fucking issue because Akutani has never cared about the plot. And if you want any proof of that, we can just take the fact that the merger didn't happen. That was the plot for 100 chapters, was
Yep.
everything leading up to this thing that did not happen. And all of a sudden he wants to pretend like it matters. Dude, we know you. We know that you don't give a fuck. Neither do we.
Bro.
Like
That's
he's
the whole point. Well, then explaining it too. It's like, oh well, you know, yeah, the reason why Yuta had to go fight Kenjaku was this. It's like, I know you don't care. I trust you with it. Just tell me that he had to
Bro.
do it. I don't fucking care.
I think it's
Oh my god.
I love how fucking Yuji is connected like by blood. Not
He's
not
his
kind of
mom.
by blood.
It is
to
by
the
blood,
two
yeah.
The 2 main villains. And that just does not matter.
Well, no, Zenith, you're wrong. It does matter for
Yeah,
the fight
yeah.
scenes.
For the
Hey, we got some cool fight scenes.
Yeah, man.
God.
Yeah. I love that chapter looking back on it. It's just like, So who is Yuji Sukuna-sama? Oh, he's the kid of Kenjaku, and he's also related to me. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm not worried about it though. It's just like, oh, true. Yeah, it's just used to set up the potential of Yuji. Like, oh, he has potential on par with Sukuna-sama. Yeah, I'm just surprised. I was gonna bring that up, Manu. We don't want to talk about how the Culling Games is like not over. At least from what we know, the Culling Games shouldn't be over. We don't want to like talk about ending that.
They all forget to use their curse technique for like a few weeks and then they die.
Yeah, right. Like we don't want to talk about how the Culling Games isn't over. We don't want to like mourn Gojo's body.
Better fucking hope that Megumi wants to pet his dog or something so he doesn't croak on the spot.
Yeah, bro. Megumi being like, oh, I'm this nigga has jet lag from taking 5 unlimited voids to the dome piece.
Oh my god. I was even talking about the Culling Games thing, but yeah, how?
I was just referring to that. It's funny.
Everyone, I just want you to know. By the way, how are you guys doing? I'm having a great day. Taylor has brought up several times how the hell is Megumi completely fine after taking fucking one unlimited Voidillion fucking attacks.
Because he took on the process, not the result or some bullshit. I don't know.
It's just the idea that like, oh yeah, well his head kind of hurts.
Dude,
he's a little shook in him.
It's literally, it's so simple. All Akutami has to say is that, hey, Megumi was a soul, therefore, you know, unlimited void targets the brain. So Megumi's soul, through all of this hocus pocus bullshit, is fine. Because then it's like, oh, that makes sense. Because, you know, I imagine when Gojo was protecting Yuji in Unlimited Void way back in the day, Sukuna probably wasn't protected. So, like, that makes sense as to how he was, you know, he was still able to function after a while.
Funny idea, by the way.
Yeah.
This is just in Yuji's body, fucked up.
That nigga's tweaking. Yeah. But it's like, oh, like, that's all you have to do. It's so simple. I know, again, I've brought this up before. I know we're in the era where, like, reading comprehension, whatever, is like an insult. But, like, guys, it's okay for stories to just push everything out on the table and go, here's the information, guys. There you go. I'm not mad.
Fine when they do it like a goddamn lecture.
Yeah, I'm not mad at stories just telling me, hey guys, boom, like something simple, like, hey, Megumi is fine. Why? Boom. That's all it takes. It's so simple. Like, you just tell me instead of me just wondering, like, hey, why is he fucked up? Why is that the case? Why is he not fucked up? And then he's like, well, I'm actually not fucked up at all. Why? Tell me why. Like, that's all I want. We can come up with our own headcanons and hypotheticals and all that other stuff. But again, guys, it's okay for a mangaka to just tell you the answer sometimes. I get it. I like reading into things too. Hell, that's part of what I do on this channel. But like, sometimes it's cool to just be like, hey, 1 + 1 = 2. Cool. I get it. Makes sense.
Well, no, because the process of infinity actually means that while they'll approach the result of 2, it'll never actually end up there.
I'm fucking cooked.
Or something. Whatever way Akutami described the concept, that was incorrect.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? Is he was just like, yeah, this is how it works. And somebody was like, that's not how math works.
I think it was like, you're technically right. And then he pointed out like a bunch of flaws. He's like, but I guess it ends up in the same place. So whatever. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Akutami, for someone who does not know much about math, he sure likes adding a lot of math to his series.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I can sympathize. I hate math too. But like, hey, man. That's why I don't like to do it very much. I got calculators.
That's why you didn't make a YouTube channel dedicated to math.
True.
That's why bro stayed in his lane.
True.
It's just, what is the... Where are we? Who are we?
What
are we reading?
Oh, yeah.
Where were we? I'm dizzy.
I was going to say, I mean... We still are about halfway through, but I guess we can just merge all the rest of this shit together. We'll do the merger since Kenjaku couldn't. So this last bit of the chapter.
Yeah.
I'm a math major and I also hate math. You're so real for that, Wet Nepkin.
But
the last pages of this chapter were spent gassing up this idea of new shadow style and like, hey, you know, new shadow style, it was the hot shit back in the day, but then it wasn't, and then it became a trade secret, or at least Simple Domain was, rather. I'm sorry. So basically what happened with Simple Domain is that practitioners, students of the new shadow style school and family, whatever, they were the only ones allowed to use it, but there were some binding vows involved, which meant like you couldn't go out on or you couldn't say no to missions, and you had to give up your life force and blah blah blah. There was also an old guy who was like, you know, taking all of that life force for himself, and apparently he had a plan to like seek the top of the jujutsu world, and he wanted to be the new ruler. Why did he want to do that? I don't know. He's dead. End of chapter. What are we doing?
And that's so interesting.
Why the fuck would you lie to me? It's almost 5 p.m. Beast Coast time. Why the fuck would you lie to me?
Well, Sailor, let me ask you, aren't you glad you're learning about this stuff that's really important instead of, like, I don't know, mourning the loss of Gojo, a character that was really important to a lot of people?
But you forget he wasn't important to Akutami.
You're so true.
I was waiting to kill him off.
I said it when he was drawing that fucking the like panel of him cut in half. Bro was fucking giggling, kicking his feet like a schoolgirl.
Nigga was twirling his hair. Yeah. Oh my god, bro.
Greatest day in his career as far as he's concerned.
Oh yeah, the reason he made the series.
I just cannot believe that in a chapter where we're handing out participation trophies, instead of handing out to Mei, like, hey, your crows were super helpful. It allowed us to see Sukuna versus Gojo. It allowed us to come up with different strategies and plans. It allowed us to just get the lowdown on everything that was going on, constantly keep us aware, keeps our head on a swivel. Good job, Mei. Instead, we just delve into fucking new shadow style Simple Domain. Also, we could go like, oh yeah, Kusakabe is the new leader of the group, and he got rid of all that other bullshit that we brought up. I killed the other practitioner, the old dude, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. And, you know, Mei took him out because he's like, oh, you're attacking my brother. But we all know Mei is just doing that because she just wants to use her brother to fucking tax new shadow style Simple Domain. So, we have 2 chapters left of the manga. 2 chapters left of the fucking manga, and we're spent doing this bullshit. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Between all of the randomness, like just the bad explanations, just how it's clearly a lampshading technique from Akutami to try to dampen all of the fucking stress and all of the attention that certain aspects of the raid have caused, or have garnered rather, and then spending the second half of the chapter on literally nothing information. Like, I'm talking information that nobody fucking cared about, nobody asked about. Nobody was sitting down and, oh, gee willikers, I'm sure happy I learned about Simple Domain. Like, no, bro. Nobody wanted that. We're spending half of our few final pages on Simple Domain lore? We could be world building so much other shit.
You fucking said that the last few pages like it mattered, bro. These pages don't fucking matter. you literally said it earlier. He's just making up shit because he's already covered everything. Like, these last fucking chapters don't even fucking matter.
We could have spent these last chapters actually like slowing down the pace and actually letting that chapter of us beating Sukuna breathe. And, you know, we didn't have to actually, like, just speed blitz through everything. We could have all 3 of the main things that happened in that chapter as, like, 3 separate chapters. But that would require, like, characters talking And we don't really like doing that in JJK anymore, unfortunately. So we just speed blitz through that shit. And now it's every single chapter since the 5-chapter announcement has just been worse. I am genuinely scared. I'm genuinely scared, bro. Like, what these next 2 chapters, bro.
You think we're getting a sequel?
Truly was our
No. Fuck no, we're not getting a sequel.
Akutami threatens to start a new series.
Bro, fuck no, we're not getting a sequel. I think listen, if we do get a sequel, all right, I guess, but like genuinely, with how fast we've been speeding through this, at the pace we've been going for these final few chapters, there's no reason. Like, the speed Akutami is doing to wrap all this shit up, there's literally no reason to believe, in my humble opinion. If you want to keep believing in a part 2, that's fine. But in my humble opinion, there is zero reason to believe we're getting a part 2 for Jujutsu Kaisen. Because, like, what the fuck would we even talk about? Like, oh no!
I wanna bring this up. Right,
Go ahead.
sorry, you finishing your thing?
No, I was just gonna say, like, other people are like way less powerful than the people we've already killed. So, like, what do they matter?
True. But like, and this is the thing that's kind of funny about this whole situation. Because, I mean, we don't have any reason to believe that when we got the announcement that there were 3 chapters left, that was like something imposed on Akutami.
No.
Like, every chapter we are getting is chosen by him. Because, I mean, it's not like it's doing poorly. Like, JJK hasn't fallen in sales from what I've seen. Like,
It's doing pretty well.
There's no pressure
Yeah.
from Shonen. There shouldn't be any pressure from Shonen Jump. Like, everything we are getting is because he thinks it's important.
Yep.
For some reason.
For some reason.
Man.
Throwing that out there.
You're right, Zenith, that is funny.
Yeah. Thank you. I thought so too.
I was so fucking hopeful, man. I was so hopeful.
Man, what an idiot.
You know, this dumbass.
I was so hopeful because, you know, like, I've just felt part of me die as each of these chapters have come out. Ever since the 5-chapter announcement, it's just been worse for me. Because, you know, it was the Nobara chapter, and I was like, well, you know, I can understand the criticisms for it. I get it. I have some criticisms of my own, but you know what? I really like Nobara. You know, it's cool, you know, seeing her come back, helping out Yuji for the things that he's fighting for and stuff like that. I think that's cool, you know, like, I have issues with it, absolutely, but, like, I don't know, I just can't stay mad at it. Then we get last week's chapter, and it's like, oh, Sukuna went out like that? Oh, we're already waking up Megumi? Oh, the group is back together? Well, that's funny. We gotta help Yuta. Okay, pacing all over the place, but you know, I like the crew together. You know, their moment was funny. Megumi's letter, cool. Nobara saying she's the class Madonna, I thought that was funny. I definitely would have preferred to stay in Shinjuku Showdown, you know, the epilogue for a little while longer and not just time skip forward. But you know, maybe we'll get some more stuff later on. Maybe we'll get in the final moments of the story. We'll get some more things and we'll get some proper closure. This chapter, I can't even say I fell to my knees in Walmart. I feel like I like fell through Walmart.
Fell to my knees in Target.
Like, this chapter doesn't need that bougie shit, bro. Bougie
shit.
I can't go to that's Target.
I can't afford Target, bro. My ass is in Ross.
That's hey, Ross got some good shit, but like, that's Target. Okay, that's too fancy for this chapter. Okay,
Target.
All right, that's what me and my mom call it. You know, if you know, you know, type shit. That's the fancy. You know, but
I
like,
forget who said it at the beginning in chat. But someone was just like, I hope the next 2 chapters are even worse.
Oh my god! No!
God, they had better be.
Fuck, bro. If the next 2 chapters are worse than this, I don't know if I can take it. Like, I don't. You know that one meme of the guy like crying and screaming in the shower? That's just gonna be me. Like I don't know if I can take it, bro. Like, especially from my perspective, I just dropped that big ass AOT video ranting like, wow, chapter 139 was the worst thing I've ever read. If I get hit with something on par with that, I think I'm just gonna stop reading manga. Like,
This is not worth it.
I don't even know anymore, man. Like,
Bro, you can't stop reading, bro. Blue Box and Hematen is still there, bro.
That's
You
true.
gotta keep on,
Blue
bro.
Box. Blue
Keep
Box
believing.
will undead unluck will save you.
That is true, man. Undead
Dude,
Unluck has
I ain't
been
gonna say nothing
good.
because you're catching up. The latest chapter was really good.
Do we have closing statements for this JJK chapter? It's probably time to move on to Kagurabachi.
I'm just
because,
fucking depressed, man. That's all I can. I'm just sad. I am praying that this next chapter is good, but man, getting hit with a fucking bottom 5 abyss fiction chapter this week, wow, man, I'm just sad. I'm just fucking sad, but
I really don't have much. I really don't have much to weigh in with the JJK chapters much anymore. Like, aside from the Yuji stuff, there really is little investment for me at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
This is such
Bro, I
a
feel you.
nothing chapter, man. Fuck.
I'm here because I've been there, man. I've been here for too long. I can't just stop.
Yeah, you have fucking you're like an abusive relationship, bro. You can't get out. I get you.
Yeah, exactly.
I am.
And much like all abusive relationships, it's your fault.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Now hold on. Wait a minute.
That's hard, kids.
No, wait a minute.
Official stance of
No.
the Slice of Shonen Podcast.
Now wait a minute.
Taylor Clout himself.
No,
He's
the
clearly
fuck you
condoned it
didn't.
by allowing us on the
No, what the hell?
Taylor Gunnar Clout endorses.
Oh my
What the hell? I did not, and I'm not even old. Boston.
I didn't say. I said Gunnar.
No, I thought you said
Notice how
Boomer.
you didn't deny that. No.
Well, I can't deny Gooner.
You admit
but,
it at this point.
Yeah.
Boomer, I have to deny. Gooner, I can't do
No,
much about
I
that.
would never say something so rude to you. I would just call you a filthy, sticky animal.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Bro was
I'd
at.
never say something like that to your face.
I still think you're old.
I don't think that does.
God, will anything make you
fair
happy,
enough.
Jesus?
God.
Yes, Kagurabachi
So
Chapter 49. That's what makes me happy. Fellas, how are we feeling about this one, man?
I love this chapter.
God, it's Kagurabachi. You know?
know, man.
Again.
Life is worth living. Do not kill yourself. Kagurabachi will save you.
I thought it was funny because last week we were like theorizing on the Hishaku guy's power, but it like I forget
It's
it was like it's just paper.
Yeah, it's not
Which is
glass.
cool.
Paper.
It is, yeah.
It
I mean,
was
I'm
on me.
curious on how it's going to be used.
Get your
Like,
paper. That shit is cool. Yeah, I like that, man. Kagurabachi. Oh my god, I'm still recovering from that brain aneurysm I had from JJK. My technique's burnt out. I just used my
Bro got
domain.
hit with unlimited void.
Yeah. But it's, man, dude, the dynamic action this series has, man. Like that top-down view of him about to spin with Kuro. Follow that up with just like the double page spread. Nigga! Oh my god. That shit's good, man. That shit is so good.
And the way it's like communicated too with Hakuri, like,
Yeah, I love it how he's just like, Hakuri centipede, and he's thinking about his dad doing like all this fucked up shit with the fucking baby bisector 4 million, and he's just like, oh, pull this dude's ponytail, gotcha, just yanks him down. Like, oh yeah, true, man, dude. I'm about to have that Hakuri brain damage, bro. I think I do. I think I just do at this point. Damn, man. That shit, man, I am so excited to see this fight between Hirohiko and Chihiro, because this seems to be setting up that we're about to get like a new level up for Chihiro, man. He's talking about wanting to break the stalemate, dog. Hey, man, all it takes is a different interpretation of the blade too. So I'm really excited to see what he comes up with in this fight, because they have stuff specifically designed to beat him. So he's gonna have to bust out some new stuff in order to surpass his limits right here. I'm super excited to figure that out.
I just love the way he set up this deadlock, where it's like they're equal, and you're waiting for that one piece to go to the other side. And I think it's really cool because it's like they are depending on Chihiro because they need him, because he's one of the few like enchanted blade strength fighters on their side. So he has to be on the front lines. He has to be protecting the others. But that's also kind of working out for the Hishaku because they need to kill him too.
Yep.
So it's like they need Chihiro out there on the front lines, but they want him out on the front lines so they can get him alone and outnumber him and kill him. So it's like, it's just I love it. It's so like fun.
Yeah, man.
It's like seeing the back and forth between them. I really like the villain group. I really like the Hishaku so far. Like, not character wise, because we don't really know any characters super in depth, but just like the way they've been maneuvering is enjoyable. I really like the back and forth between them.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too. I also like how we're also waiting for Hakari, because that's another thing that could tip the scales, because as soon as he makes a contract with the sword bearers, he can get their swords too, and that's another thing that'll just fucking annihilate people, dude. So it's all coming down to just, like you said, Taco, that one small change. As soon as that's implemented, that could have such a massive ripple effect on the story. So I'm really excited.
Once that first domino falls, it's gonna like keep falling.
Oh yeah, all of them are going.
Both sides are just waiting for that big advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This shit is so gas. Oh my god. Yeah, man. Kagurabachi, really good. It was really cool seeing Hirohiko's powers as well. Seeing that one thing, like establishing, like, oh my god, dude, I love this story. Establishing that, like, oh man, Nishiki is the technique that allows Chihiro to move really fast. And in response to that, Hirohiko sends out Blood Crane. You see the cranes racing to, like, they're both racing towards the guy. Chihiro's about to cut them, and then they pierce through that guy's back, and that causes him, like, all the blood to spurt out. He picks up that guy's sword, grabs it. They start going into it. He shoots off more cranes, hits Uruha. Nah, man. This shit is so good. This shit is so good, dude. Yeah, man. This is something special. And of course, that one page of them, like, jumping out of the train is so sick.
Only thing is, now it's no longer a train fight, so might not be as good. I mean, we all know that train fights are always awesome, but I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna have faith in the author here.
True.
I'm really excited for this fight, because I think one of the things he has used, because right now they're trying to basically throw numbers at him. You know, throw a bunch of Datsenseki, I think it's called.
Yeah, Datsenseki, yep.
As well as just having a powerful lead fighter in the mix. And that's a solid strategy. I think the good factor here that Chihiro might have to rely on would be Red, the Aka. Because now, since he's fighting multiple sorcerers, that means there's multiple people to copy abilities from.
Yeah, man.
And I think that could be really cool if he like sort of utilizes the fact that he's outnumbered to his advantage, something like that. Or he might just, Nishiki go fast and kill them. Either way, I think the fact that they're ants though will make that harder on him.
Yeah, I agree too. Because
I think the point is he's not gonna be able to rely on his normal, Nishiki go fast, Kudo kill them.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have to use some stuff because, like I said, they're specifically designed like we are here to kill you. This is the man, this is going back to my goat Sojo, man, because he had the counter hit force, bro.
You're right.
This shit is so good. Oh my god, this shit is so good. Oh my god. But yeah. He's definitely gonna have to develop and evolve just like Sojo did, and it's gonna be super interesting. I think you're right on that, Zenith. I didn't even think about it. He's definitely gonna have to start using red because that's so good, so good. Yeah, it's really interesting because this is a similar strategy that they used in order to take down the protector of Uruha, the protectors of Uruha back in Kokugoku Fort. So it's a sound strategy. We know that it works. So yeah, Chihiro is definitely gonna have to level up in this fight, man. I'm super excited. Super excited.
Right. God.
Next week is gonna be a banger, man. Next week
I
is gonna be so
also
good.
really like this this whole thing where when he's like the deadlock is about to be broken, between that is the panels of them killing his dad, and the way it gets across is the idea of this deadlock has been a very recent idea, but in his mind it seems to be that this is the turning point that he's been waiting for ever since his dad died.
Yeah,
like that this deadlock has been in place this entire time as he's training.
Shit, man. All that and then with like
Love it.
it's so good. Yeah, all that and then with Uruha at top saying like, you got it, I believe in you. Hell yeah, man. This shit's gonna be so good. This shit's gonna be so good. But yeah, I don't think I have, me personally, I don't have too much to say. Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk about for Kagurabachi? I just felt like this was a really good setup chapter.
I mean, yeah, it's just really setting up this conflict. I guess I am curious how things are going to continue with Hakuri and Uruha, because like Uruha is strong, but he's not, he doesn't have his blade, so he's pretty nerfed right now. And Hakuri, even if he gets his ability back, he's kind of can't go overusing it because they need it to get the blades later. Yeah. So yes, he's trusting them. I still think that's a risky move.
Yeah. I think I just want to, because it's a kind of repeating point, but like the way that the way that the deadlock is described and presented is very good.
Yes.
It's like, because it's an interesting idea, and just the way that it's shown is really to me, you can really easily kind of picture it animated in that way of like looking like flashbacks and the different like ideas that are just being portrayed. It's one of the biggest strengths of Kagurabachi is how cinematic it can get. And obviously, that's most, prominent with the fights. The end of the auction being a great example. Mm-hmm. But I think that a moment like this, which is essentially like exposition, the fact that it can also be portrayed in a neat way like that is cool.
Yeah, man. And the sword panel, because I saw someone bring it up, it's really cool, man. The sword panel, like the spread on that, it's sick, dude. They look so good.
I'm curious what the abilities are gonna be like, because we can see the guards and they're pretty stylized.
Yes.
One kind of looks. Well, we already have Cloud Gouger, but one of these also
I
looks
think
like
it looks more
mist.
like mist. Yeah.
I was about
Yeah,
to
so I
say
wonder
like
if it's
fog
gonna
or
be-
something.
like. I wonder if it's gonna be like a water type of one, but I mean, Enten already has like the water motif going, so I don't know.
I think fog is a
Fog.
fog/mist.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
think so.
that's possible. I could see
Like
that.
The one on the
Yeah,
left,
that-
I don't really have any idea as to what
I
that could
can't
be.
tell. It's at an angle. It's hard
If
to.
it wasn't,
It's
if
kind of
it
like a
wasn't the-
butterfly.
yeah, if it wasn't the baby bisector, I would say that one is, like looks insecty, but that's
Yeah,
already
but-
the sneaky does that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. All the elements: lightning, mist, bugs, goldfish.
Pokemon logic.
Fairy type shit. Yeah, I don't know what that left one could be. Maybe like, I don't know, like rock. But then again, I don't think that would be like the hilt for rock. Like, or maybe those could be like pebbles. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I'll go rock. Why not? I'll stand on that. Why not?
I'm like fucking flipping my shit upside down. I'd be like, it looks like the Nike swoosh. No, it looks like gills. No, well, we've already have fish.
Blub 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 blub.
Blub,
Yeah.
blub type shit.
Kumeyuri
Yeah, no.
means shaking, stirring alcohol. That's all we have to go off of. Oh, this nigga getting
Interesting.
litty.
I've been trying to find what the meaning of it was, so thank you.
My
That's
God, the blade of drunk driving.
Oh no!
Bro, who's Crew's sword? What the fuck?
No!
Deionator.
No! The
Some people are
drunken
saying they
fist
see
blade
that.
technique.
Motif with that
Oh,
one.
We
I
get
like
it.
you
You're
guys.
Batman
Clever.
fans.
I mean,
That is.
that he
granted, that
is.
pretty safe.
I know.
Pretty safe bet.
No, I think Batman is a Kagurabachi fan, me personally, but
God knows.
Mm.
God knows Hookazona.
type shit. That would be cool though, because he obviously, like you guys have brought up, he's a big Batman guy, so that'd be cool.
That would be cool if like the sword did like echolocation.
Yeah.
Nah,
And,
that'd be
I
kinda
think
be
they're
like that
saying
sword.
that this is the guy whose eyes are covered, like he's blind.
Yeah, he's blind.
So-
Yeah.
That,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah,
Could
which means
be.
of course he'd be even better at drunk driving.
Whoa! That's awesome. No, it's not. It's not awesome.
Do not have the vision. I'm sorry.
Once again, the official stance of the Slice of Shonen podcast.
Now
That's
wait a
awesome.
minute.
Wait, what do you mean? You were telling us all about this last night, how you fully endorsed this idea.
No, I
wouldn't.
did not,
Stating
brother.
details.
I was reading Undead Unluck. I was doing no such thing.
Aha! We caught him in a contradiction. Nobody reads Undead Unlocked.
Listen,
You're
man.
caught. Judge, send him to hell.
Officer, wait. Would you believe me? This is my 101st loop. I've
No.
been here before. I've been here
You mean your
before.
101st time in prison?
No.
It's like free ice cream, but you get a express ticket to super prison.
Go to
Going
super
impel down,
jail.
buddy.
Go to super jail now. No, bro. Yeah. I mean, good chapter, man. Good mother effing chapter, dude. This was a good
Yep.
chapter of Kagurabachi. Good chapter of One Piece. Good chapter of Kagurabachi. JJK, you stay over there. But yeah, I think that's all of my dialogue options just completely gone for the time being. I gotta go to the bathroom too. So, is there anything else you guys want to say before we get the mother F out of here?
Just
Fuck
reach the
no.
stars, guys.
Mhm.
You know, because here's what we've learned today, if anything, is that anybody can achieve incredible success for no good reason.
Oh my
You do not
god!
have to know what you're doing.
Oh god!
Oh,
True. Anyway.
Bugging your way through life.
Fake it till you make it, baby. Fake it till you make it. But anyway, let us know down below what your favorite chapter of the week was. Doesn't have to be anything that we described here on the podcast. By the way, like the stream, by the way. There's so many here. Like the stream. Anyway, you can just let us know down below what your favorite chapter of the week was. It can be Blue Lock, Blue Box, Kill Blue, Grand Blue, Blue Beetle, Hema 10, Undead Unluck. I'll add that to my roster now that I'm reading it. But yeah, let us know down below what your favorite chapter of the week was. Anyway, we're getting out of here. Goodbye. Mwah! And good night. Bang.